The story begins with a story about the main character named Sam, who is a professional in computer games and completes any game at the maximum level. His favorite game is Love in 10,000 Worlds, where you have to charm a variety of girls in different time periods. You can gain a girl's affection in different ways, both by physical conquest and by blackmail. Sam has already got 100 of the brightest girls in the game, something no other player has managed to do before him. Our hero manages to seduce even the toughest and most militant girls, and he considers himself a professional in this matter. Victory over girls comes so easily to him that he secretly makes a wish to get into his favorite video game. And then the light began to flash in the room. The computer monitor began to make terrible sounds, and it seemed that he was about to be sucked right into the computer. The wind in the room was increasing and had already turned into a hurricane emanating from the center of the monitor. With all his might, the main character began to be pulled straight into the screen. And despite the fact that the guy was much wider than the screen, surprisingly, he did not feel any painful sensations. There was a loud bang and there was silence in the room, as if a few seconds ago the person had not been sucked into the computer screen. Sam was falling down. It seemed like he was going to throw up. All his organs were compressed, and he couldn't shake the feeling that he was going to break. The hero landed softly and immediately sat down. There was no more pain and fear. The place in which he was reminiscent of the character creation screen in his favorite game, Love in 10,000 Worlds. He saw a girl in a short white dress that barely covered her underwear. He recognized her as the fairy of 10,000 Worlds. Sam began to very emotionally ask the girl how he could get out of here and if he could withdraw his wish and go home right now. The girl answered the hero that he himself knew everything perfectly well. He just needed to do what he could do best in the online game. The girl also said that our hero's old game account no longer exists, and he will have to go through everything all over again, with a 0 skill level. The hero was very angry and promised that as soon as he got out of here, he would immediately sue the developers of this game. The girl replied that after signing the license agreement, his life was in the hands of the game developers. The hero asked if he was entitled to some kind of ability so that he could complete the game faster. Of course, the creator has prepared 5 abilities for you that correspond to the 5 attributes in the game. Talent helps you gain more abilities to become the strongest. Variability allows you to use shadow abilities and become invisible. Physical strength makes it possible to pump up the body. Intelligence contributes to the mastery of all types of spells, with the help of which you can destroy the world with one gesture. Sam asked how charisma could be useful. The fairy replied that charisma makes him more attractive. He thought that this was not a very good joke, and did not want to choose charisma when there were other choices. The hero was about to press the intellect, when suddenly something pushed him from behind, and he did not see where he pressed. Sam opened his eyes and was horrified. He accidentally chose the most, in his opinion, useless skill. He began to swear loudly and shout that he was set up and he was not going to choose this skill. The fairy said that nothing can be changed and you just need to start the game. The girl disappeared. A bright whirlwind began to spin under the hero's feet, which began to drag him into the beginning of the game. The action moves to the first game location, created on the basis of the city of Yunzhou, which is very picturesque and atmospheric. Before us in all her glory appears the sorceress of the snow shadow named Siri, a student of the great master who kills evil spirits and protects the tranquility of the city. The sorceress walked through the shopping area and looked for jewelry. Suddenly, a bright beam appeared in the sky, which hit directly one of the towers where the baths were located. The sorceress saw how a beam pierced the roof of the tower, and something large, the size of a person, flew along this beam. The main character opened his eyes and did not immediately understand where he was. His head was spinning. His arms and legs did not want to obey. The hero heard women's screams around him, looked around and realized that he was in the women's side of the hot springs. Looking at the gentleman who suddenly appeared, the girls began to behave very relaxed, calling him to swim together without clothes. The hero was not prepared for such a rapid development of events, and with all his might, he began to run away from the place where the girls were about to attack him in order to drag him to take a bath with them. The palace guards also chased the hero, since the appearance of men in the women's bathhouse is strictly prohibited by the law of this kingdom. The hero ran away, and they shouted after him that he was a pervert and would certainly be punished. Although the girls called the hero a pervert, they did it with admiration and adoration in their voices. They found him very attractive. The guards continued to search for the unknown pervert. Sam was very angry about a situation that had happened, which he had no control over. The guards noticed the hero, but he decided to open the skill log and saw that he only had an evil smile of protection in his attributes. Sam was angry at what a useless skill he had received. There is nothing to do, you will have to use this skill and come what may. He began to use this skill clumsily. The first time it was not entirely successful. After one of the guards saw the smile of the defense, he became even more convinced that the main character was a pervert. Sam was simply furious. He realized that he needed to try again, because the grimace he distorted was not evil. He began to try again the skill of an evil smile of defense. And then the incredible happened. The guard stopped, was confused, and a moment later he was beaming and saying to himself that he had fallen in love with a man for the first time. The guard with a smile on his face said that it was love at first sight. Sam picked up a brick from the ground and swung it into the guard's face. While the guard was falling, the main character told him that he loved girls and was not going to reciprocate the man who just a few minutes ago wanted to bring him to execution. Our charismatic hero was put on the wanted list after attacking a guard. Now he was threatened by even more guards. They opened fire to kill and launched several dozen arrows at the criminal. The hero tried to dodge. It was difficult. One arrow grazed his shoulder and he saw blood splashing across the ground. Sam realizes that he cannot defeat the guards using any skills, and there is only one way out. Run as far as you can, as far as possible. But then Sam accidentally stumbles upon a brothel. He tries to run inside as quickly as possible, and literally bumps into the girl, but there was no impact. Something softened the collision. The girl was very surprised at such a rapid and unexpected meeting. The hero, without having time to catch his breath, asked the girl if she could help him. The girl, without listening to the end of the visitor's request, said that for the sake of such a handsome man, she was ready to do anything. She turned around and shouted to someone, "Girls, welcome the guests!" The hero saw 4 girls of incredible beauty come out into the hall, wearing outfits that made him want to get to know them better. By the time the guards ran into the house, the girls surrounded the hero and covered him with themselves. When asked where the criminal was, the main girl replied that there was no one else here. The commander of the guard detachment did not believe the girl and ordered to search the house to find the hiding criminal. However, the girl said that if he dares to invade her home, she will report this situation to their commander-in-chief, who is a frequent visitor to this establishment. The owner of the business appears and says that there is no need to embarrass the guards because they are doing their job. She allows the guards to search the house and says that they have nothing to hide because they are not doing anything prohibited. At this moment, Sam is under the hostess's long dress. 4 beauties took him away while the first eldest distracted the guards. The hero smells the hostess's body. It really turns him on. After half an hour of searching, the guards returned with a report. The hostess stood motionless in the same place. The head of the guard asked the owner for forgiveness for the inconvenience caused. The owner said that they could stay in their establishment since opening time was approaching, but the guards refused. Sam, who had been kneeling for more than half an hour, could barely hold on, and in order not to fall, he grabbed the smooth, tender leg of his mistress. This was very unexpected, and the hostess screamed. The head of the guard began to suspect something and looked closely at the robes of the owner of the salon. But fortunately, someone managed to inform the wife of the head of the guard that he had been in the brothel for more than half an hour. Her evil appearance frightened not only the squad leader. The guard's wife, with a deft, sharp movement of her hand, grabbed him by the ear and dragged him home. The hostess breathed a sigh of relief. Everything worked out as she had planned. Sam no longer had any strength left. His muscles became numb. He could not stand in such an uncomfortable position. He began to fall, holding onto the legs of the owner of the salon, and they fell together. When they fell, the hero's neck got stuck between the mistress's legs and she strangled him. Sam lost consciousness. The girls working in the salon were very scared. The owner saw that he was wounded and blood was flowing from his shoulder. The hero lay motionless. Droplets of sweat flowed from his forehead. Someone began to call a doctor. The hostess was not at a loss and tore her dress so that she could bandage the wound. After a while, we are transported to a room where the hero lies with a bandaged shoulder, and above him stand 3 charming girls in vulgar clothes, who looked after him while he was unconscious. The owner of the salon enters the room. She has medicinal herbs in her hands, and she is wearing the same dress. If she had torn the dress a little higher, you could see her underwear. The girls are discussing how to give the hero medicinal herbs. One of them suggests giving the medicine mouth to mouth. The girls argue about who is most suitable for this role. The owner of the brothel comes into play and says that she herself is able to provide assistance to the victim. The girls leave the room in disappointment and leave the hostess alone with the wounded guy. The housewife drinks medicine from a spoon. Look at the guy with loving eyes. And with the help of a kiss, he transfers the medicine to the patient. The hero immediately woke up and quickly found himself on top of the girl, without opening his lips in a kiss. The hero dreams that he is in the forest, and 2 slugs attack him and fall on his face. He doesn't understand why he can't tear them away from his face. It turned out that he was imagining it, and he pressed his face into the mistress's chest. In his delirium, he began to shout loudly that he would kill these slugs. The scream was so loud that all the brothel workers heard it. The hostess was dismayed by this behavior of the stranger and thought that he really was a pervert. The hero received a slap on the wrist for his behavior. Since Sam came to his senses, he was invited to a tea party. He thanked the girls for their help and apologized for his behavior. The girls offered him several options for the development of events, or he would stay in the salon and work for them. Or they hand him over to the palace guards and say that in addition to past crimes, he committed new ones in their salon. The hero has no choice but to pretend that he agrees to their conditions. Sam asks what he will need to do to work off the debt for saving him. He thought that he would have to fulfill the amorous whims of the girls from the salon. However, he was forced to clean up the entire salon. Of course, he did not count on such difficult physical work. But everything turned out to be not so bad. Almost every girl in the salon was willing to help the hero. They promised to do the work for him in exchange for him spending the night with them. Each girl considered it her duty to be the first to win Sam's favor. The competition for the hero's heart was just beginning. The hero understood that if he charmed as many girls as possible, he would be able to gain more experience points and advance to the next level. Night fell. The hero was in the room provided to him. He was finally able to test his gaming experience and was pleasantly surprised that during this time, he was able to gain an additional 1,000 points, which he could exchange for new skills. Sam saw that it was possible to purchase the Book of 1,000 Wishes, which allows for a multiple increase in experience points if the hero has an intimate relationship with a girl. But there was one big problem. This skill costs 100,000 points. The fairy who accompanied Sam to the game decided to help him because she observed how many difficult trials he had to go through. She made an exception and gave him a 99% discount on skill acquisition for 10 minutes. The hero was incredibly happy about this bonus and decided to take advantage of it. When purchasing the skill, the hero rose into the air. He was enveloped in purple swirls, and he felt a strong blow of wind. Sam glowed both inside and out and felt an incredible surge of energy. The next morning, leaving the room, he began to stumble upon the insanely languid glances of the girls. They literally undressed him with their eyes. The hero heard the girls say that he had become even more attractive than he was yesterday. At this time, there was a visitor named Stone in the salon, who was angry that all the girls stopped paying attention to him and were watching the main character. Sam, feeling a clear superiority over the man, answered him with a grin that there was no one in the room more dazzling than this man. This tone made Stone even angrier and threatened him. The man grabbed the hilt of the sword and asked Sam if he knew who he was talking to. At that very moment, the owner of the salon intervened in the quarrel and asked forgiveness to the gentleman for the new employee. The gentleman realized that the hostess would now be able to make concessions to him and would do whatever he asked if it did not humiliate her dignity. And then he invited her to drink a glass of wine as a sign of reconciliation. But he thought through everything in advance, and in the turmoil he poured a hot heart powder into a glass of wine, which awakens in any girl the desire for intimacy. The lady, suspecting nothing, drank a glass of wine. Stone asked how much it would cost him to spend the night with the owner of the salon, because he really liked her. The hostess replied that she did not sell her body, and that he should no longer dare ask her such questions. But the man already knew that the powder would have to work very soon, and she would have no choice. After 15 minutes in her bedroom, the mistress could already feel the heat spreading throughout her body. Because of the heat, she began to take off her clothes. At that moment, Sam decided to come in and apologize to the lady for his behavior. The hero began to thank the hostess from the entrance. But then he saw her and his eyes' pupils widened. The hostess was only in her underwear, and the hero saw her elastic forms. That hour, the hero ran out of the room at the speed of light, shouting that he didn't have time to see anything. But after a few seconds, a gentle, fragile hand pulled him back into the room. The girl sat him down on a soft bed, and she leaned over him so that her hand was between his knees. She asked him for help. The hero was scared. The girl said that there was a powder in the glass of wine that increased attraction and desire, and now she can't think about anything else. She began to untie her bra, and she threw it on the hero's face. Our hero, the lady, had to be helped 3 times until she felt better and returned to normal. Meanwhile, Stone decided to go to the hostess's room, but got the wrong door. As soon as he entered, the door slammed shut and he thought his plan had worked. He saw the girl's sweet lips at the entrance, but did not expect that this was not the same room. He was greeted by a girl, but she was a little bigger than he expected. Stone did not expect to meet a girl of such size. He tried to run away from the room. However, he was unable to open the door to leave. Plaster began to fall from the ceiling. The girls working on the floor below could not understand what was happening. One of the girls began to guess what caused the slight collapse of the ceiling. Loud and rhythmic moans were heard from the hostess's room. The inhabitants of the cabin had to listen to these sounds for a long time. There was blood on the bed. Sam quickly got dressed and tried to run out of the room. he still couldn't come to his senses. He didn't believe that he had succeeded. The hostess said that he should not be nervous, because nothing terrible had happened. Sam told the owner that he didn't expect that the girl working at the brothel wasn't already with a man. The girl, out of emotion, threw a pillow at the hero and began to swear at him. The hero ran away and the girl looked after him. She didn't understand her feelings. Just a few minutes ago, she had experienced incredible emotions, and now she felt empty and used. Sam went out onto the balcony of the floor and was surprised at how real everything was, and that it no longer looked like a game. He saw Stone running away and asked what happened to him. The man looked very bad and whispered to himself that he would never forget such a shame. The salon girls shied away from him. They thought he was sick. The hero shouted to the exhausted Stone that his plan had not worked. While the gentleman was running with all his might through the salon towards the exit, Sam thought that thanks to the man he had moved as quickly as possible to the next level. This was a great opportunity to practice techniques. Now our hero was at the next level, where he had a technique. It's called Charm Living Beings, and judging by the picture, it's activated by snapping your fingers. It seems clear but needs to be checked. And here is the first test subject. Come here, cat. The Charm of Living Beings. As expected, it worked perfectly. I will use it. Sam already began to think through new plans for charm in his head. He went to the shopping area to buy a gift for the girl he would need to get. She was in the square, the same student of the great master Siri, an incredibly beautiful girl in white, whom he saw as soon as he came into this world. The girl asked the seller about the cost of various jewelry, and he promised her a discount for beauty. Siri thought the discount was a very good option. She pointed to the hairpin she wanted to buy. The hero appears and asks the seller how much such a hairpin costs. The seller said that this was a very valuable piece of jewelry because it was made of ice stone and the finest jade, so rare for this area. Very skillful and expensive work. Is she really real? Our hero asked. How dare you say that I am deceiving people? I would really like to believe you, but it seems to me that I am right. The hairpin burst in the hero's hands. The girl was interested, and the hero said that she needed to take a more responsible approach to choosing jewelry in stores. How dare you try to deceive me? I will not tolerate such treatment. The owner of the jewelry store was very angry with the guy for breaking the goods and exposing him as a deceiver in front of the great master student. The store owner called 2 security guards to deal with the hero and teach him good manners. The sorceress of the snow shadow decided to deal with the big men herself and was already prepared for battle. But the hero stopped her. He needed to show himself. He said that he was capable of dealing with these unfriendly guys himself. A third guy approached. He introduced himself as his older brother and said that this battle would not be as easy as he thought. We are professional fighters who graduated from a martial arts academy. They began to show different fighting stances. This was supposed to scare the hero, so they thought. They looked powerful, but not very scary. The sorceress told the hero that despite the fact that they looked like 3 pumped-up clowns, they should still be feared. Don't worry about me, I can handle it. Stay away and don't interfere. How courageous and handsome he is, Siri thought. Enough bragging. It's time to move on to the fight. Catch my fist of death. The hero dodged and hit him right in the stomach with the Essence Seductive Strike skill. The older brother's breath caught, his pupils dilated, his pulse quickened. The fighter lay on the ground and said to himself how pleasant and easy it was for him, and his brothers were in misunderstanding. What kind of spell did you cast on him, evil sorcerer? The brothers asked. If you continue the battle, the same thing will happen to you, the hero answered. But they didn't believe him, and after a few seconds, they were in the same euphoria of love as their older brother. They could no longer continue the battle. The spell of love turned out to be stronger than muscle. A moment later, people in the shopping area tried not to get close to the muscular guys. Siri noted that she had never seen such a strange but effective fighting technique before. The hero said something incomprehensible and changed the topic. He asked what the name of the beautiful girl was. The sorceress identified herself as a student of the great master. Sam said that it was an honor for him to meet her. Siri said that soon students would be selected to prepare for participation in the tournament for the title of the best wizard, and he could take part in it. Suddenly, a gentleman from an intimate services salon intervened in the conversation and addressed Siri. He called her sister and said that he had been looking for her for a long time. They most likely had a strained relationship because Siri responded that she shouldn't have to report where she was. Sam decided to take advantage of the fact that the relationship between the sorceress and her brother was not the best and added fuel to the fire by asking him how long ago he had last been in a brothel. Siri, hearing that her brother was visiting brothels, was a little surprised, or rather, she was furious. Stone called the hero a vile dog and asked his sister not to believe a single word he said. Sam replied that at first they had fun together in a brothel with the girls, and now he calls him a dog. Stone realized that he could not win the verbal battle and could only make excuses to his sister. He promised to take revenge on Sam, but the hero grinned and said that he would certainly wait until the hour of reckoning came. They went in different directions. The blonde sorceress was also not visible, and the hero went to the salon. Today is his day off. Night fell. The full moon brightly illuminated the Street of Roses, where the intimate services salon was located. The owner of the salon stood at the mirror in her room. She was wearing a new bright red dress. Its slit, which reached the waist, indicated that she had no underwear. She looked at herself in the mirror and could not understand what was happening to her. For several days, her thoughts were only about the hero. Sam met the hostess and decided to make amends. As a gift, he presented her with a gold hairpin, stolen at the market from a deceiving seller. The girl couldn't believe her eyes and ears. Our hero expressed his understanding that this gift was very useless, but he wanted to please her and make amends. "I like your gift," the girl said with warmth in her voice, warmth spreading like a wave throughout her body. "To be honest, I'm very glad that I was able to please you," the hero said. While Sam was talking, the girl deliberately dropped the handkerchief. "Oh, don't worry, I will certainly help you lift your scarf." The hero bent down at the mistress's feet to pick up the fallen red scarf. Before he had time to sit down, the girl stretched out her slender long legs to the hero's chin. He could smell her skin. It could not leave him indifferent. The hero looked up and saw that the girl had no underwear at all. The smell of her body excited the guy's consciousness. He could no longer control himself. But the hero continued his game and said that if she wants to spend the night with him, then it will cost her dearly. The girl said that she was able to pay any amount for time with such a gorgeous man. The hero abruptly pressed the girl to him, held her waist with his right hand, grabbed her neck with his left, and kissed her deeply. The girl melted in the hero's arms. She felt her heart want to jump out of her chest. Sweat appeared on her forehead. Her lips were very wet. The hero took off the girl's dress and laid her on her back. Nothing else held the hero back. There was no longer a businesslike and stern tone in the girl's languid moans. She was in the power of the guy, and she liked it. The next day came. The hero woke up and didn't see anyone nearby. There was a note on the table next to the bed. In the note, the girl said goodbye to the hero and asked him to remember her because she would never forget this best time in her life. The notification system reported that the character's game card has been received and added to the achievements section. The hero was happy about the unlocked achievement, but he felt somehow sad. He decided to leave the salon and continue on his way. The caretaker found out that the hero wanted to leave the salon and expressed her regret. The hero thanked the girl for her hospitality and help. The girl said that she could not forbid him to leave the salon, but she would not let him go so easily. At the same moment, 3 more girls ran into the room and began to hug the hero and take off his clothes. The hero had not yet recovered from the night's entertainment with the hostess, so he decided to use the means at hand. Moans from the cabin were heard throughout the area for an hour. The hero gained a new experience, including a gaming one. The girls were still a little overcome by cramps in the thighs. They lay without strength. Sam left the room satisfied. He went out into the city and again came across a brother and sister he already knew. Stone followed his sister, a disciple of the great master, and asked her to go with him to the clan and help prepare for the initiation ceremony of a new generation of students. The girl said that she still had business in the city and there was no need for her to rush to the clan right now. To make the meeting look more natural, he made a surprised face when the sorceress looked in his direction. The hero told the girl that he was just looking for her and was very glad to see her. She asked how she could help him. Sam asked her to take him to the clan to meet the teacher and begin training. "Great," Siri noted. "We were just getting ready for the clan." The girl's brother was confused because she had just said that she was not going to join the clan. The man told the hero that he could not join their clan because this would require flying through the air and only clan members have this ability. The girl noticed that it was absolutely not scary and she would help the hero get there. The man shouted something after the departing hero and his sister, but no one listened to him. The girl told the hero to hold on to her tightly when they get to the clan's location. Sam replied that if she allowed him to touch her body, he would not let him go again. They swept over the rocks and plains with the speed of the wind. The girl's brother was on their tail. They moved at an incredible speed, and the girl told the hero to hug her tightly, or maybe she specially developed such a speed to force the hero to hug her as tightly as possible. The hero grabbed her just below the waist. He inhaled the smell of her developing hair, felt how her body trembled. Sam decided to say how pleased he was that the girl decided to help him. She was confused. The girl's brother really didn't like watching his sister being hugged by some stranger. The hero understood this and decided to anger the man even more. Stone was furious and decided to fundamentally solve the problem. I took out a box of paralyzing needles, pointed it straight at the hero's back, and he released a dozen loaded needles to the waiting hero. The girl heard the sound of needles flying in her direction. She sharply turned 180 degrees and covered the main character with her chest. At that very second, she was paralyzed. Sweat ran down her face, and a quiet, "Why, brother?" escaped her lips. The man himself did not expect that such a situation could happen. The girl and Sam found themselves in free fall. The hero did not know how to fly. Stone made no attempt to save his sister. He was only thinking about how he could justify himself to the clan elder. He thought that even if he saved his sister, she would tell everything to the master, and he would not forgive him. And if no one finds out about his action, then he can move on with his life in peace. With these thoughts, the man went further across the sky. The girl was drowning. She could not move. The needles immobilized her with poison. She mentally said goodbye to this world, but suddenly, the main character swam up to her, who managed to take a full lungful of air and through a kiss was able to share it with the girl. Siri opened her eyes and regained consciousness. The sorceress's saber was approaching them, but it flew straight into Sam's hand. Did he really also have the abilities of their clan? In this case, I can save us and take us to the location of the clan. The hero raised his saber up and mentally gave the order to fly. At the same second, there was a splash on the water. The hero held the girl in one hand, and with the other he pointed the saber upward. They flew at high speed. They couldn't fly for long. The girl needed rest. She still didn't feel well. Having settled down in the shade of the trees, the guy and girl considered that the danger had passed. They did not expect that in just a moment they would have to face a new enemy. There were a little more enemies than the hero expected. The warning system sent a message about the enemy. It was a bloodthirsty wolf, a second-level enemy. There is no choice, you have to fight, because not only the guy's life is at stake, but also his companions. The enemy was not going to give time to think. He attacked at the first opportunity. Sam decided to use the points he received to acquire battle skills, a second, and only the skin remained from the bloodthirsty wolf. The hero saw how experience points were credited to his balance for destroying the wolf. With professional movements of a swordsman, the hero scattered the bloodthirsty wolves from side to side, leaving them no chance to profit from the flesh of his companion. The hero swung his blade left and right, and the enemies kept coming. He felt tired in his hands. The situation was getting more complicated. They had to come up with something. Otherwise, they wouldn't get out of the forest. The hero wanted to take the girl and step back, run away. But their way was blocked by something huge, of unimaginable size. The animal let out a roar that echoed throughout the forest. A huge animal, similar to a grizzly bear, with bright red wild eyes, a sharp blade on its skull, stood on its hind legs and roared with all its might. It was a forest demon, a level 4 animal enemy. This is all at the wrong time, the hero thought. I urgently need to come up with something. The animal rushed at Sam with a wild roar. He used the art of seduction, but did not know whether it would work. Damn, it really didn't work, and now death will overtake me. The animal held Sam with its huge paws. A second later, the huge bear, like a friendly dog, was licking the hero and wagging its tail. A dozen wolves did not share the bear's mood and continued to show with all their appearance that the hero was their prey. The bear cub clearly did not like the fact that they wanted to eat his new friend. The blow sent some of the wolves flying 200 meters away. The blow and the second part of the evil creatures flew far from the place where Sam was. Those who could still stand on their paws wanted to return to the fight. But the bear let out a roar of such force that they tucked their tails between their legs and rushed into the forest as fast as they could. Night fell. The moon illuminated the rock where the hero and his friends were located. The crackling of a fire could be heard in the cave. The hero thanked the bear for saving his life and providing a place to spend the night. But it was a bear. She didn't speak, but she hugged the guy with all her might and began rubbing her muzzle against him. The hero approached his exhausted companion and said that he needed to try to remove toxins from her body. It is necessary to remove outer clothing to find where the needles hit. The site of the injury was found. The player hit the girl right in the shoulder. The hero began to suck out the poison from the wound. The girl felt a pleasant sensation. The poison is very strong, the guy said, spitting. You cannot stop. Otherwise, the poison will continue to spread throughout the body and lead to death. The hero sucked out the poison, but saw how the girl was delirious. She was making moans and saying incomprehensible phrases. Continue. Don't stop. I feel so good. Morning came. The sun's rays illuminated the cave in which Siri slept. She woke up. She was cold. She was weak. She looked around and saw that she had no clothes on, and there were drops of blood nearby. She thought that while she was unconscious, Sam had taken advantage of her. Meanwhile, the hero returned to the cave, with wild berries in his hands. The girl attacked him with a blade. The tray with berries fell to the ground. The girl said that she would kill him because he took advantage of her helpless state. The hero began to make excuses and say that he did not touch her, but only tried to save her life. The girl pointed the blade at the guy's throat, but the blade resisted. The girl turned to the blade and asked why he was resisting, Was the guy really telling the truth? The hero choked in fear and splashes of red liquid flew out of his mouth. "What's wrong with you?" the girl asked. The hero replied that while he was sucking the poison out of her wound, he got poisoned since he did it for the first time, and now he is mortally ill. In fact, the hero deceived the girl, and it was not blood, but the juice of red berries, which he did not have time to chew. The girl said that she remembers how the needles flew at her, but also one needle hit him. Why is he not affected by the poison? Sam said that his friend gave him a jade pendant in the shape of a maple leaf, and the needle went straight into it. Siri thanked the hero and said that she could teach him her clan's technique, which rids the body of toxins. "I'm not a member of your clan," the hero noted. "I don't want to steal your secrets. You saved my life and therefore I will repay you, reveal a few secrets, especially after what you did. The head of the clan will agree to take you as his student." "Thank you very much, madam. I will not forget this. It's time to start training. Call me mentor," Siri said. Sam was glad that his plan had worked for years. Meanwhile, in the Hidden in the Clouds clan, the head of the clan was furious when he heard that his best student had died, and Stone could not help her. Stone began to tell how on the way to the clan they were attacked by an unknown robber and wanted to steal the secrets of the clan. Tried to take away Siri's blade. Stone managed to repel the attack, but at the last moment, the robber dragged his sister under the water. The head of the clan at the same moment called all the wizard fighters and sent them to search for his daughter, telling him not to return without her, alive or dead. The soldiers promised to carry out the teacher's order and set off. Stone asked that he be sent to search for the girl, since he understood that the truth could be revealed. He needed to be on the safe side. "I believe you," the teacher said. "Go find Siri. You will succeed." Stone was already thinking about how to make sure that the girl was never found. Stone's father, who was the brother of the head of the clan, brought an elixir for the girl in case she was found badly wounded. "Be sure to give the elixir to the princess to drink. It can save her life." The man left the temple and hit the road. "Chief, you must stay clear-headed. Stay calm. I understand your concern, but the clan is counting on you. I can't think about anything until I find out if my daughter is alive." Meanwhile, the main character is fishing on the shore of a pond. He fails to catch a fish, but he does not give up this activity because he needs to feed his mentor and the bear. "What a pity that I can't use my charm on fishing. It seems he was wrong, and charisma works for everyone." Almost 100 fish rushed out of the water towards the hero. He did not expect that he could charm even a fish. A moment later, several dozen fish were already lying on the shore. The hero thought that the charisma skill is not as bad as it turned out. You can even get food with it. Sam turned around because he heard the sound of air cutting. Men in white cloaks were flying across the sky. They were flying on swords. The hero immediately realized what clan they were from. "So they are looking for Siri. Very interesting." The hero hurried to the cave to tell about what he saw. At this time, the girl was meditating. Chakra thickened around her, and her body was cleansed of poison. Quick footsteps were heard that echoed throughout the cave. "Finally, you're back. I'm hungry," the girl said. But what entered the cave was not the one she expected to see. "Hey, little sister, I see you didn't waste your time," Stone noted. Siri told her brother that she would report to the head of the clan that he had attacked her. "I don't know how you survived, but I'll fix it now, sister. You left me no choice." The princess told her brother that if he dared to attack her, there would be no turning back. "How dare you, you mean girl, say that to me? The great warrior of light, I will destroy you." The man drank the pill he received in the palace. Now his regeneration power was at its maximum. The medicine also strengthened his magical characteristics. His chakra was glowing all around. The girl was scared. She had never seen the power of the experimental pills that were produced in their secret laboratory. So know the strength of the clan warrior of the village hidden in the clouds. The energy emanating from the man seemed to destroy the cave. The princess understood that in her current state, she was no match for Stone, who was full of strength and had taken the pill. The man opened his mouth to cast the spell technique when suddenly got hit in the face with a huge fish. Sam greeted Stone and asked if he had hit him in the face with a fish. The hero knew that the princess was weak and he would have to cope on his own. The girl warned the hero that her brother had arrived to take both of their lives. Stone said it's great to see the hero here and not have to look for him later to finish what he started. The hero had to borrow a sword to resist such a strong opponent. The fight began. The opponents began to quickly approach each other. The crack of swords echoed throughout the cave. No one was about to retreat. The hero managed to dodge, strike back, and wound the man's face. Stone noted that even though Sam is a very good fighter, they are at different levels of combat training. Lightning blade technique. The hero tried to hold back the blow, but it was all in vain. The blast wave threw him back with incredible force. The hero stood on all fours and tried to catch his breath. The man grabbed him by the collar and lifted him into the air with a slight movement, and said that no one would stop him from achieving power and becoming one of the leaders of the clan. The hero got his bearings in time and decided to act as best he could. Charisma technique, seduction. The hero looked at the man. He was motionless. There was emptiness in his eyes for a split second. The man stood and looked up at the hero with loving eyes. The hero realized that he needed to act right now and called on the sword, which was already flying at the speed of sound. A blow, another blow. Stone's severed arm flew through the air with the sword. Everything seemed to be in slow motion. The hero held the sword tightly in his hands, and behind him, blood flew from the man's shoulder in all directions. The man shouted something loudly, but the hero no longer listened to him. Perhaps Stone would have been able to escape from the cave, if not for one thing. On the way out, they were already waiting for him. He hit his head on something soft. This was a kind, but for some not so good, new friend of our hero. He screamed as loud as he could until he lost consciousness. At the direction of the hero, the bear spared the villain. A few hours later, the heroes were able to reach the clan hidden in the clouds. The girl told her father how it all happened. How an unscrupulous brother used a hidden poison weapon against her, and how her friend had to save her and risk his life. The head of the clan said that for such an act, any member of the clan would be subject to the death penalty. But for past services and due to injury, the criminal would be under house arrest and would also be deprived of all titles and titles. The criminal, who had lost honor and respect, was taken away by his father from the room of the head of the clan. The head of the clan said that he would generously reward the hero for saving his daughter and asked what he wanted. Sam replied that he simply wanted to become a student of the head of the clan and be useful. The head replied that he would gladly accept a young man with such a kind heart as his disciple, but as a general rule, he would have to pass a test. The girl began to ask her father to allow him not to take the test and immediately enroll him in the ranks of the students. However, the hero said that he respects the principles and rules of the clan, but wants to pass the tests and officially join the clan. The head of the clan was very pleased with the young man's answer and praised his desire and warm heart. In the meantime, the girl decided to give the hero a tour of the clan's possessions. She showed him the very heart of the clan, a magical tree that gives energy to all living things. The girl said that there was no time to admire and she needed to undress as quickly as possible. The hero did not understand what she meant. He asked if it was too early for her to invite him to undress, since they had not yet gotten to know each other properly. The girl was very angry with the hero and said that she brought him here in order to practice the technique of melting the snow of 6 suns. The snow melting technique develops the maximum concentration of energy for the subsequent use of any technique, including combat. Mastering this technique is impossible without a mentor, so the princess was always nearby. The hero successfully reached the 3rd level in this technique thanks to the help of the princess. She watched how strong his strength and chakra became. The hero incredibly quickly reached almost the 4th level of technology. However, this was the first training, and the body could not take such strong loads. The girl did not understand why the sacred place did not extinguish the fire inside the hero. Is there really no choice and I have to help him release this burning energy? The girl couldn't believe that she would have to do this for the first time, and the hero was getting worse. The pain of conscience did not leave the princess. She could not make up her mind, but she also could not leave the hero to die. She gradually began to move her legs in stockings towards the hero's belt. Closer and closer, ashamed, scary, awkward. She had never done this before. She began to massage part of the hero's body with her feet, and he began to make strange moans. She was ashamed to hear the groans of a man who could not control himself. Several hours passed. The hero came to his senses and did not understand what had happened. Even though the sorceress was glad that the hero had come to his senses, she felt dirty and disgraced. She said that she had to save him, free his body from the accumulated burning energy. Thank you very much for saving me, but why are you so upset and your face is red like you just ran? Sam felt a new strong energy spreading through his body. His power and strength were on a new level. Suddenly, he felt danger behind him and turned around. I saw an unknown entity flying in their direction. The unknown first attacked the hero and sent a palm full of energy into his body. Their palms joined, and the unknown person cast some kind of spell. There was a cold blue explosion from which they scattered in different directions. For a split second, the hero was sure of the enemy's weakness, but he was wrong. The palm, which had recently repelled the enemy's blow, became covered with ice, and the ice continued to encircle the entire hand. Another moment and the hero turned into an ice statue. The princess wanted to free the hero, but a stranger stood in her way. He was already rushing towards her at speed in an attempt to strike. The girl could not withstand a blow of such force. She had not yet recovered from helping the hero. The blow was so strong that the girl was thrown 20 meters. However, the princess was able to stay on her feet because at the last moment she recognized the attack technique of the enemy, who used the technique of her clan. Despite the cold outside, a fire was raging inside the hero. He knew that the ice technique was unable to hold back a wizard who had mastered the 4th level of the solar technique. The ice quickly turned into water and evaporated, Sam gathering all his free chakra to strike back. He was absolutely not interested in the motive of the enemy, because of which he decided to kill them. Solar Gate Technique Level 4. The hero moved as fast as never before and was able to reach the opponent's chest with the first blow. The clothes tore and he saw large, firm female breasts. The hero was slightly surprised by this development of events. The girl went on the run. Her level was lower than the new level of the hero. The princess asked the hero not to pursue the enemy, but to help her patch up her wounds. She said that the enemy used her clan's equipment, and it turns out that their own people wanted to destroy them. "Are there really traitors in the clan?" the hero asked. "Let's not talk about that. Take a better look at my wound. It hurts in my chest area," answered the princess. "Then you need to take off your clothes. Otherwise we won't see your wound, princess." The hero began to help her take off her outerwear. The girl was very embarrassed. She was in pain, but she wanted to continue. The hero touched the princess's chest. She received damage from the ice technique and was very cold. It is necessary to rub the affected area using the hot palm technique. The hero said that not only the chest was damaged, but also the area below the waist, and moved the girl to a horizontal position. An hour later, the hero got off the princess and said that now her body would never freeze. The princess said that her wounds were healed after half an hour, and she does not understand why the hero did not stop there and used her for another half hour. Sam said it was to prevent possible side effects. Siri replied that she understood that the hero simply took advantage of her condition, and although he saved her, she would not thank him. The hero asked if they could continue preventative measures tomorrow. The girl wanted to use the most powerful technique on the hero, but he said in time that he was joking. "How can we identify the girl who attacked us?" the princess asked. Sam replied that during the battle he wounded her, and a wound should form on her chest, and Siri needed to start watching the girls from their clan more closely. Meanwhile, in the forest not far from the location of the clan hidden in the clouds, the girl who attacked the heroes arrived at the meeting place with the person who ordered the murder. "Our plans were disrupted. I could not defeat the newcomer," said the killer from the clan. "So, we have been fooled again. This new guy is not so simple," noted the younger brother of the head of the clan and also the chief alchemist, who developed the pills that increase regeneration. He gave the girl his medicine so that no one could identify her in the clan based on the wound she received in battle. The girl was glad that she would not have to leave the clan for fear of being caught in treason, because the scar could give her away. Several days passed. The day came to take the exam for the opportunity to study with the Great Master. Sam noticed how busy the main square was today. He liked the atmosphere. Siri wished him luck and told him that there was only one way for him to pass the test. Otherwise, she would kill him with her own hands. The princess's older sister Maggie intervened in the conversation, expressing interest in Sam, and said that her sister had been talking about him lately. The princess was embarrassed because she did not want the guy to know that she was secretly in love with him. The hero noted that the princess has a very beautiful sister, and he is very glad to meet their whole family. The princess warned the hero not to even think about pushing his balls towards her sister. Not only the sisters from the main family were crazy about the hero, but also other girls from the clan kept looking at him and sighed languidly after him. The guys from the clan did not like the close attention of all the girls in the village to the newcomer. They planned to get rid of him at the first opportunity. The time has come to begin the selection. The head of the clan greeted the candidate students and spectators of the competition. The task of the first test was announced. Participants need to collect 10 flowers of the magic grass that grows on the top of the sacred mountain in 3 hours. Most participants considered this test to be completely childish. The head informed the test participants that if anyone thinks that they do not have enough skills to pass the tests, it is better to refuse at first. The test begins. The participants took off from their seats, and only the hero was in no hurry to accelerate. He stood and watched from the sidelines what was happening. The princess ran up to him and asked what was the matter. Did he really not want to pass the tests and be closer to her? The hero said that the princess should not worry about him. The girl was surprised. She did not understand what he was up to. Meanwhile, other participants searched actively, but not effectively. 2 candidates walked and discussed how difficult the test actually turned out to be, and in a few hours they found only 3 flowers. Suddenly, they saw something beautiful and stopped. It was our hero. He went into the hot springs completely naked. Turning around, he used the gloating Lovegrin skill. He invited 2 girls to swim with him. One of the sisters felt awkward because this was their first meeting. The second was more determined and accepted the invitation of an attractive young man. Within a moment, the older sister without clothes entered the water. Although it was scary, the youngest was not going to give up the guy she liked so easily. Each of the sisters wanted to get to know the hero better and beat their rival in this matter. But the hero replied that he would not be able to pay proper attention to them since he had little strength and he had not yet found a single flower. The sisters replied that if the hero needed flowers, they would definitely get them for him. The hero pretended that he was very flattered by their friendly gesture. The girls said that it was a great honor for them to help such a handsome man. The hero stayed at the hot springs to reflect on the delights of the life of a man who sits on a girl's neck. As soon as he glanced at the departing sisters, a girl jumped into the water. She asked what she needed to do for the master so that he could spend a stormy night with her. The hero said that he was glad for such attention, but he felt her chakra. He grabbed the seaweed from the water, which had been tightening his leg for several minutes. The girl turned into a water witch. Sam said that he knew that she only wanted to suck all the vitality out of him and refused to spend a stormy night with her. The evil spirits gathered green chakra around itself and directed it towards the hero. Green algae surrounded Sam on all sides. A moment later, he was already bound by dozens of strong seaweed. The green monster said that because the gentleman is handsome, she will not kill him, but will simply take all his energy. The hero looked at her with a languid gaze and said that she didn't have a single chance against him. He used the 4th-level sunburning technique. The monster began to scream in pain. The algae was burned. The green evil spirit asked for mercy because she did not have time to harm him and paid him a compliment. The young man decided that she could avoid execution, but she must suffer the punishment without fail. The girl gave herself up to the hero and was completely in his power. The groans of evil spirits were heard throughout the area. The guy praised the skills that the evil spirits possessed and wished them correction. The green beauty thanked him and promised to improve if he carried out such educational work with her at least once more. Cries for help were heard in the forest. 2 sisters fell into the trap of a tree demon who was guarding the flowers they needed. The tree demon was a huge oak tree with slits for its eyes and mouth that oozed crazy chakra. He pointed a sharpened branch at his younger sister, which flew straight at her head. The girl has already said goodbye to life and dreams of spending the night with the handsome guy. A moment before the girl's death, using the dragon constellation technique, the hero cut a thick oak branch in one motion. The tree swung its branches from side to side in a rage, destroying everything it touched. The hero said that he would not allow anyone to harm his future sisters. There were many more girls captured by the evil spirit than the hero immediately noticed, but each of them was immensely glad to see him. All attention was focused on the handsome young man who was about to destroy the evil spirit of the forest. The battle began. A dozen branches sharp as spears flew at the hero. With one blow of his blade, the hero smashed into pieces all the branches aimed at him. However, the wood chips also turned out to be dangerous. The hero began to take the enemy more seriously and monitor his every move. The girls were upset, but mostly because a scratch appeared on the young man's beautiful, perfect face. They could no longer watch how their handsome man was being disfigured, and in a few seconds, they freed themselves from the demonic embrace. The forest watchman was at a loss. The hero watched as the girls used various techniques to deal with the demon. He saw that not far from the battle site, there were the very plants thanks to which he could complete the task. A few minutes later, the demon lay on the ground without moving and looked like an ordinary felled tree. The girls told the dying tree that it was a mistake to hurt the most handsome guy. But the young man was no longer there, and he did not know how the outcome of the fight ended. He continued walking but could only find 6 plants. The sound of air cutting was heard. Again, someone wanted to kill the hero. His quick reaction allowed him to dodge without getting hurt. What was unexpected was the realization that he was attacked by more than just enemies. 4 test participants attacked, who found only 1 plant each and wanted to take away those collected by the hero. Really lucky, Sam thought to himself. The men could not understand why the hero was looking at them with such interest. Level 4 Sunstroke Technique. A moment later, with broken faces, bruises under their eyes, and bumps on their heads, 4 men stood and held out their flowers to the hero. He thanked them for their generosity and set off. The time allotted for the test was almost over. The area was filled with participants. The head of the clan said that the winner of the first stage could immediately become his student. The hero thanked everyone for the opportunity to participate in this test. The princess was very glad to see him returning not empty-handed. The participants continued to admire the handsome man and offered him a room in a women's dormitory. The princess realized that she was not the only one who fell in love with the hero. She did not understand what feelings were overwhelming her. She had never experienced jealousy before. Siri retired to the snowy mountain and thought about him. Sam arrived just in time. She had not yet had time to get angry that he did not share the joy of victory with her. She asked why he didn't have fun with the other girls. "I want to thank you, mentor. Thanks to you, I reached such heights and became part of the clan." The girl said that today is the night of purification, and everyone who has sinned will certainly come to the holy spring, including the girl who attacked them. And when she comes, we will be able to see the scars you left on her body. The hero asked the princess not to risk herself and not try to detain the girl herself. The girls took a bath in the hot spring and said what a pity that their handsome brother was not nearby. The princess looked around, but did not see anyone with a wound on the chest. The hero lay in the room and thought about why the princess had been acting so distant lately. The hero's cotton and pants began to smoke in the groin area. He was scared. Smoke filled the entire room. The caretaker fairy appeared and said that if he was thinking about the princess, then he needed to ask her what was bothering him. "What are you doing here?" asked the hero. The fairy replied that as an observer she can be anywhere, but she cannot influence the plot of the game, and no one can see her except Sam. The hero said that he would like to follow the fairy's advice, but he could not go to the women's bathhouse because he would be kicked out of there. The fairy advised him to transform into a girl and go talk. This plan was distrustful. The fairy advised me to go to the system store and acquire the necessary skill. Indeed, there is such a skill in the system, and you can become a girl without surgery. The hero acquired an illusion spell that went well with his pumped-up charisma. The hero asked why the fairy was telling him if she was forbidden to influence the course of the game. The fairy said to consider this a system hint and enjoy the game. It's very interesting who the hero planned to become. From the initial changes, it was not clear who he was turning into. Long legs, short white dress, white hair, blue eyes, gold bow on the chest. The fairy was very surprised when she saw herself, but not in the mirror. The hero said that he made himself according to the template that was in front of his eyes. But still I changed something. I made my breasts bigger. He looked, and from her dissatisfied expression he realized that everything had gone well. Of course, what girl would like it if we talk about her small breasts? At this time, the princess conducted surveillance at the hot springs, but did not see anyone with a scar. The hero in a female form came to the pond and called the princess. She did not understand what was happening and what the unfamiliar girl wanted from her. Sam revealed his secret and asked to keep the princess's mouth shut. Siri couldn't understand what was happening or how he managed to do it. The hero explained that he did this as a cover and wants to help her catch the criminal. The princess was worried that the hero would see her naked. The princess's elder sister appeared at the springs. She immediately drew attention to the hero in a female guise and complimented him, thinking that this was a real girl. The princess had already begun to tell who was hiding under the guise of a stranger when Sam stopped her. He introduced himself as Tsunade, the daughter of the ruler of the Hidden Leaf Village. The older sister said she was pleased to meet you. Sam said that there were no people living in these parts who did not know the daughters of the main family. Maggie once again complimented our female hero and went off to take a bath. The princess asked why the hero did not let her tell her sister about him, to which Sam replied that she also needed to be checked for scars. The princess said that she would not dare to suspect her sister of plotting against her. Sam noted that he suspected everyone, including her sister, and until he was convinced otherwise, no one needed to know why they were here. "What should I do?" asked the princess. The hero already had an insidious plan. He climbed onto a rock and began shouting that there was a poisonous snake in the pond. A slight panic began, but the hero still hadn't seen anything. He decided to immediately check his older sister and pretended that the snake was swimming in her direction. Sam shouted that the snake had gotten under Maggie's towel and he would save it. The towel was torn off. The hero achieved his goal. He began to closely examine the breasts of his older sister. He did not see any cuts and was upset by this. Maggie continued to scream and kick the water, fearing a snake attack. She held the main character by the head, pressing him to her chest. His pulse became stronger. A notification has arrived that in case of excitement, the spell of illusion will dissipate. The girl stood close to the hero and began to notice something oblong right under the water. She decided that she saw a snake and tried to grab it with her hands, and then Maggie caught her. But she couldn't understand why the snake was so hard to the touch. The hero looked at her in fear, and she held his snake in her hand and squeezed it tightly. Because of the steam at the Holy Springs, no one except Maggie noticed the transformation of the hero from a beautiful girl into a guy. She shielded him with her body from the girls and told them to quickly run away, since the snake was very dangerous, cunning, and perhaps not alone. The girls decided to listen to their older sister because she was from the main family and they had no reason not to trust her. Maggie asked Sam to explain what was happening here and what kind of tricks he was doing here. Sam replied that he could not concentrate on the story while his sister Maggie was standing in front of him without clothes. A little later, two princesses and Sam were sitting in the gazebo, who explained to the eldest of them that they were trying to find the killer in this way. The detectives were very embarrassed to say that they suspected Maggie of such things. Maggie invited Sam to examine her breasts, feel them, and check them in any other way he wanted. Sam liked the idea and was already thinking about how he would check his older sister's body. But at that moment, the younger sister slammed her fist into his impudent, satisfied face with all her might. Maggie didn't know whether she liked this situation or not. On the one hand, she liked Sam, but on the other hand, her sister also liked him. The younger sister refused to help the older sister and decided to deal with the pervert herself. Maggie said goodbye and said that they needed to deal with the attack as soon as possible and find the killer who attacked them at the sacred place of concentration of energy. Having thanked the sister for her participation and excitement, the heroes were left alone. Meanwhile, in the laboratory of the brother of the clan head, a meeting with the killer takes place. It turns out to be Maggie, who says that she is already suspected and now she won't be able to hide for long. The head's brother replies that in a few days he will refine the divine pill and become the strongest person in this mortal world. Maggie says that the divine pill is strictly prohibited by law, and if anyone finds out, they will face the death penalty. The man replies that he is not afraid of anything and asks Maggie to simply delay the heroes so that they do not get in the way. The man says that he now has only one goal: to avenge his son, who was crippled due to the fault of his younger sister and her arrogant friend. Events take us to the area of the hidden cloud, where the main master demonstrates the training of his new student. Sam demonstrated the skill level 5 Scorching Sun Palm. He smashed a huge block of ice standing in the center of the square into smithereens. The impact was so hot that not even drops of water remained from the ice block. Everything evaporated in a split second. The master praised the student for mastering the 5th level of technology so quickly. Sam noted that he achieved such heights because the princess helped him, but this is not enough for him, and he wants to master the last 6th level of technology. The master replied that it was impossible to reach the 6th level alone. One needed to merge with a master girl who could sacrifice her honor for his sake. The hero did not believe that in order to master the technique he needed to copulate while training with a girl. The master said that during the ritual, the girl must lose her virginity with the hero, but will he be able to find such a girl? A dozen girls in the square squealed and shouted that they were ready to give up their innocence for the sake of the hero. The master was shocked by this development of events, embarrassedly turned around and headed towards his palace. When leaving, he replied that he could not help him in this matter and let him figure it out himself. The hero first of all invited the princess to help him master a new level of technology, telling him about the nuances. The sister was outraged by the proposal, but inside she understood that she would like to perform the ritual with Sam. Sam said that if she doesn't help him, then he has no choice and will have to find someone else. The hero did not have time to announce the casting for the role of his assistant in mastering the technique when the first girls already gathered in front of his door. He asked the girls to be quiet while he was testing them. Those waiting heard strong rhythmic slaps and moans coming from the room. They were delighted with the thought that they would soon be in the place of his girlfriend. The princess was very angry at what the hero had done and watched what was happening from afar. Sam said loudly that the first girl wasn't suitable because she couldn't handle the hard training. The girl left the room exhausted, half naked, her dress was torn and her underwear was missing. Sam said that he had very little time and asked the girls to quickly enter his room. An hour later, the princess could not stand her jealousy and burst into the main character's room. In the room, sweaty, half-naked girls were lying on the floor and breathing very heavily. Princess Siri burst into the room and started yelling at Sam for using his sister mentors. Sam knew that sooner or later the princess would visit his room. She was taken by surprise that the hero was expecting her arrival. Sam said that he considers Princess Siri to be the right mentor with whom he wants to increase his level of Scorching Sun technique. Siri did not know what to answer to the young master and asked what he was doing here with the sister mentors for more than an hour. Sam said that now he will show her if she is not afraid and will help him become the master of the 6 solar paths. A moment later, Siri was lying on the bed, sighing heavily and clutching the sheet with all her might. The princess's moans were heard throughout the entire floor, but only a small part of the girls understood what was happening in the room. Sam gave the princess a magical foot massage, which made her experience an incredibly intense emotional upsurge. She didn't expect that a foot massage could bring so much pleasure. She couldn't breathe. She wriggled on the bed like a snake. It seemed that she was having convulsions, but she did not tell the hero to stop. Sam replied that he liked her body's reaction the most, and she was able to hold out longer than the others. Maggie watched what was happening from the street. She understood that if they continued training together, even her uncle's pill would not help. Having learned about the joint training of the princess and the upstart who ruined his son's career, the uncle was confused. He gave Maggie a poison that stops the development of any spiritual techniques and told her to sprinkle it on her opponents. Maggie asked why not just poison them, to which her uncle remarked that he wanted to kill them in the most terrible way. The uncle said that before he died, Sam wanted to see how his son took Princess Siri as his wife. Princess Maggie was overcome by strange feelings. She didn't know if she was going on the right path. Meanwhile, the heroes devoted all their free time to training. The princess stopped and said that Sam should have already mastered the 6th level technique. She raised her head, looked at him, and couldn't believe her eyes. The hero's hair became white and gave off a silvery appearance. There was a knock at the door. The older sister wanted to enter their room. Sam was very wary. He still didn't know who the killer was, and Maggie remained suspicious. The younger sister left the room and asked the older sister why she had come. The eldest replied that she knew how tired they were during training and brought them chicken soup to replenish their strength. Seeing Sam's white and silver hair, Maggie opened her mouth and couldn't believe her eyes. Sister Siri thanked Maggie for her concern and the chicken soup, which had a very pleasant smell. Maggie said that the soup should be eaten as quickly as possible before it gets cold. Sam said that they couldn't eat the soup because they didn't know if it was poisonous. Maggie pretended to be very upset that Sam still didn't trust her. The hero took out sunglasses, pretended to be a tough guy, and said that he knew who attacked them, and it was Sister Maggie. The sister began to make excuses and say that they had checked her for a scar that she did not have. The younger sister began to stand up for Maggie and say that she had known her all her life, and she could not betray her. It is unknown how you managed to get rid of the wound, but you still miscalculated when you talked to us. In that conversation, I only talked about the wound, but didn't say a word about where the attack took place. And then Maggie remembered how, when leaving, she said that they needed to deal with the attack as quickly as possible and find the killer who attacked them at a sacred place where energy was concentrated. It was just my guess. You can't judge me just based on this phrase. Sam quickly got his bearings and invited Maggie to eat a bowl of her own soup to prove her innocence. Sister Maggie realized that she was taken by surprise and needed to drink the soup because it only contained powder that dissipated power and not poison. She drank a cup of soup with shaking hands, hoping that she had not been deceived. The hero was a little confused, but still did not believe Maggie. He believed that she drank the antidote in advance. Siri, so as not to offend her sister, quickly drank a bowl of soup. Sam didn't know what to do. Because he knew that something was wrong with the soup, he yelled at the princess. But it was too late. The powder was absorbed into the blood. My head was spinning. My body was burning from the inside. The elder sister, too, could barely stand on her feet and cursed her uncle, who had deceived her. Meanwhile, the brother of the clan head was waiting for the powder that burns from the inside to take effect. The man told his son that he was doing everything for his sake, for his happiness. The traitorous brother had been sitting for several weeks and smiling, delirious. His father thought that he had lost his mind. At this time, the divine pill was being prepared. But to complete the preparation, a guide was needed, the heart of a loved one. The father decided to take the heart of his son, who was now useless, and took out a blade to strike. But before he could turn around, dozens of needles with immobilizing poison pierced his back. The man could not believe that he had been deceived by his own son, because of whom he came up with a plan for revenge. The son admitted that he had been waiting for this moment for a very long time, constantly pretending to be sick and crazy in order to learn more about the pill. The father, lying on the floor, asked to spare him, but the son was only interested in the divine pill. The son was mad and did not hear anything. He wanted to tear out his father's heart to complete the ritual. Meanwhile, the princess's 2 sisters were burning from the inside, and their fire could only be extinguished by merging with a man. The hero understood that what was happening was what he had already seen in the battle against his traitorous brother. The girls surrounded Sam and breathed heavily into his neck, hugging his waist. The younger sister asked to save the older one, because it was not her fault that she was deceived. And the eldest asked to save the younger one first, since she would not be able to live if through her fault she died. The girls did not wait for the hero's consent and took off their dresses, leaving them in underwear and stockings. Sam had to save both sisters at the same time. He had never had such experience, but he liked it. Sam increased his level and gained a new skill, Fascinating Mirage, which can stop high-level opponents. The younger sister thanked the hero for his generosity and salvation. The elder sister was very ashamed that he saved her, although she tried to kill him. The hero lay exhausted on the bed, unable to get dressed. Maggie said that she agreed to become her uncle's assistant because she was jealous of Siri, but she was very sorry and asked for forgiveness. Siri said she was willing to forgive Maggie if she promised to improve. Maggie asked that, as punishment for his misdeed, Sam would use her as his slave for a long time and do whatever he wanted. Siri got angry and said that now is not the time for jokes because the enemy is not asleep. Maggie said that Uncle was perfecting the divine pill, and if he wasn't stopped, disaster would happen. Sam began asking the sisters about what the divine pill was. He was told that the pill is a secret forbidden drug that instantly develops a person's abilities to the limit, but he loses control over himself. Sam said that it was time for him to visit the family of traitors and punish them for what they had done. Siri gave Sam a magical blade, a relic of the Hidden Cloud clan, which can only be wielded by a warrior who has reached the 6th level of the Burning Sun technique. Sam thanked Siri, and taking the blade in his hands, felt incredible energy. Before he could leave the bedroom, Sam felt a frantic energy approaching the roof of the house. A few seconds later, a huge explosion destroyed the wall and roof of part of the house. Thanks to Sam's new abilities, he was able to create a protective barrier during the explosion. He again saved 2 sisters who could not feel such a lightning attack. On the roof of the destroyed house, a traitor brother named Gao Gan stood safe and sound. The princess asked where he got a healthy arm and the strength to use such powerful techniques. The traitor brother said that his father, whom he sacrificed, perfected the divine pill, and now Gao Gan is invincible. Sam rushed towards Gao Gan as fast as he could to deal him a crushing blow. But Gan stopped the blow of a blade, moving with incredible speed with one hand. He said that now he is at an incredible level of power and cannot be stopped by an ordinary blade. The hero asked what about the blade called Snow Killer, which has the power of divine flames. And at that moment, the blade caught fire with incredible power, and the hero dealt a devastating blow to the traitor on his sore hand. Gao Gan's hand was smoking as if it had just been taken out of an oven. Sam considered that there were a few blows left before defeating the enemy and prepared to attack. Gao, laughing an evil laugh, showed the hero his whole hand and said that he was immortal. At that moment, several magical blades flew into the self-confident villain's chest. The blades were sent by older sister Maggie, who gathered her mentor sisters around her and hurried to help Sam. It was clear that Maggie's blades had reached their destination, but there was not a single scratch on Gao Gan's body. The hero asked the sisters not to interfere in the battle against the immortal enemy. But Maggie, feeling guilty, could not stay away and decided that she would do everything possible to detain the enemy. Together with other sisters, she began to collect chakra to use one of the clan's secret techniques. The enemy knew that he was immortal, but was still afraid of experiencing such a high-level technique. The sisters gathered energy and used the demonic rain of blades technique. The damage was so powerful that it would have destroyed hundreds and thousands of units of ordinary enemies. Dozens of blades passed right through Gao Gan. Red liquid oozed from his body, but he continued to stand. The sisters celebrated the victory. It was impossible to think that anyone would remain alive after such a powerful technique. But the enemy raised his head, a trickle of blood flowed from his mouth, but a mocking smile was visible on his face. With a powerful stream of energy, the enemy shot blades that pierced his body in the opposite direction. The girls had to defend themselves. No one expected such a turn of events. Maggie tried to rush to her sister's defense, but didn't have time. The immortal brother grabbed her by the throat and did not give her the opportunity to help her sisters. The enemy told Maggie that she had a chance to come over to his side and serve faithfully. But the girl refused her evil brother and called him a coward who could never compare with the main character. Then Gao Dan said that she had left him no choice and would have to kill her, and after that kill her vaunted Sam. At that same second, Sam used a magic blade to separate the traitor's hand from his body and free Maggie. Siri was waiting below, and she helped her sister land without injury. The enemy was quickly able to grow a new arm and decided to destroy the hero first. Sam tried to joke with his opponent and tell him that success with women is about attractiveness and charisma, not strength. Sam combined the power of the magic blade and the snow-melting technique of the 6 suns and delivered a direct blow to the opponent's chest. Gao Gan was sure that an ordinary blow could not harm him, so he did not even try to defend himself. It was clear on the hero's face that his plan was a success, and the arrogant enemy would soon regret their meeting. Gao Gan did not understand why his wounds did not heal, and on the contrary, became larger. The hero explained that thanks to the magic blade and reaching the 6th level of the technique, he was able to place the energy of the sun into the enemy's body. After this, to ignite solar energy, the hero struck another dozen blows with his blade at the enemy. The sun began to burn inside the traitor, his body began to glow with fire, and he began to fall to the ground like a meteorite, emitting strong screams. The princesses ran to the hero, fearing for his life because he had spent so much energy. Sam, as usual, didn't show it, because he didn't want to look like a weakling in the eyes of his sisters. But then the hero saw unimaginable fear on the face of one of the girls. Behind Sam, almost out of the ashes, a figure engulfed in flames rose. It was Gao Gan, the flame burning him, and the immortal body became one. The hero, without hesitation or plan, rushed to attack the enemy, who was blazing in the fire. The enemy produced a fiery wave of incredible power with one movement of his hand. According to the hero, he was fought by no less than a demigod who could destroy half the world with a snap of his finger. Sam felt like every part of his body was being tortured and his internal organs were exploding. The enemy was furious. He asked Princess Siri why she continued to protect the weakling. Sam came up with a plan. He decided to play on his enemy's jealousy of Princess Siri, and he used the newly learned technique of a bewitching mirage. Gaogan continued to shout that ordinary techniques would not work on him. In the mirage, the hero created a picture in which he and Princess Siri are going to study new techniques together in the same bed. In order to further anger the enemy, Sam added his older sister Maggie to the illusion. The evil brother was simply furious at such impudence. He did not understand that this was still just an illusion. In an artificially created deception, Sam and the girls discussed Gaogan's inferiority. He couldn't stand it and became even more angry. In an illusion, the princess offered the hero privacy right in front of his worthless traitor brother. The enemy, who had completely lost his mind, decided that if he didn't have eyes, he wouldn't see what was happening between Siri and Sam. Gaodan tore out his eyes, but the illusion still did not stop, and he saw what he feared most in the world. The princess asked why the traitor tore out his eyes and did not restore them. Sam replied that he created an illusion that the enemy did not want to see. The princess asked what it was, but the hero could not answer anything intelligibly. Gaogan continued to have an unpleasant dream and muttered something about Siri licking some places. The princess guessed what kind of dream the traitor in love with her was seeing and gave the main character a beating. 3 days have passed and we are shown a prison on the territory of a clan hidden in the clouds. The chained traitor sees the same vision, despite his lack of eyes. The head of the clan speaks of the unforgivable and terrible betrayal of the clan, the memory of which will be the lifelong imprisonment of Gaogan. The master turns to the main character and says that he is going to transfer the reign to him, as well as his beloved daughter Siri. The princess looks confused, but is very happy with her father's words. Sam thanks the master but says that he will not be able to accept the rule of the clan and marry the princess. The girl asks Sam why he doesn't want to stay with them. The hero replies that he has unfinished business and needs to hit the road. Sam headed into the room to collect his things, but was stopped by the master. He pounced to give him a fatherly beating, since he had become attached to him with his soul, because he always wanted to have a son. It was late evening and the stars were illuminating the hidden Cloud Clan's palace. Siri decided to say goodbye to the hero and went to his bedroom. But before opening the door, I heard the loud voices of Sam and Maggie. Moans were heard from the room. It was unclear what Sam and Maggie were doing. Out of jealousy, Siri ran into the room and started yelling at them indiscriminately. It turned out that they were stuffing bulky items into a travel bag. The friends decided to drink tea before the hero left the clan. Sam drank his tea in one gulp and decided that it was time for him to leave, since the road promised to be long. Big sister Maggie looked at Sam suspiciously, as if she was planning something. After drinking tea, Sam began to feel very strange. Everything inside seemed to be flaring up. The elder sister said that she could not resist and added a magic powder to the hero's drink. She told her younger sister that the three of them should spend their last night with the hero. The sisters decided that they would not forgive themselves if they did not try the hero's body before he left the clan. Siri was very shy but could not refuse a magical night with the hero. This is how the hero achieved the achievement of conquering Princess Siri, and also at the same time received a Princess Maggie card. In the morning, the girls woke up, but did not find Sam in their bed. They were very sorry to part with Sam, because he had become the closest person to them. The girls promised themselves that if they met him at least once again, they would never let him go. Meanwhile, the hero was on the playing field and watched the girls from the side. He was a little sad. The game fairy told him not to be upset, because this is not the last breakup in his game profile. The hero did not admit that he had become attached to the girls, and was sad to realize that this round was over. The fairy said that he had earned a lot of points and could try out new features of the system. She told the hero that the place where he is can be arranged to suit his wishes. Sam replied that he would not waste precious experience points on furnishing a room that he rarely visited. The fairy said that the place could be equipped with forges to improve equipment, a botanical garden for growing useful plants and other useful things. The hero decided to first install a forge, also an alchemy workshop to create magic pills that enhance abilities. Now the playing space began to look much better. The hero felt a surge of energy. The fairy liked the way Sam arranged his home space and kissed him. The confused hero asked the fairy how the buildings he had built would function. The caretaker fairy promised him to sort everything out and hire workers. Worker dolls immediately appeared, calling Sam the owner and promising to look after the household. Sam asked when they could start playing the next level in the game. The fairy said that the game would start at any time if he wished, but asked if he would like to study the achievements first. The hero took out the 3 fourth-level bonus cards he had received and thought that it would be great if his girls were nearby now. The cards in his hand crackled and began to emit a very bright light, which momentarily blinded the hero. Characters familiar to us appeared on the playing field. The owner of an intimate salon and 2 princesses. They were very surprised to be able to see Sam again. The owner of the salon was in the same form in which Sam had last seen her, in a robe over her naked body. The younger sister grabbed the hero by the collar and began asking him questions about the half-naked girl. The elder sister simply looked at the hero and could not take her eyes off. The situation was heating up. No one understood what was happening, and Sam did not know how he would justify himself to the girls. Sam asked the fairy why she didn't warn him about the possibility of summoning characters. The younger sister pressed the hero the most and demanded an explanation. Sam decided to get out on the fly and didn't come up with anything more interesting than to figure out that he wasn't quite human. He decided to introduce himself as an angel who had descended from heaven to carry out a very important mission. He came up with a story that he was kicked out of heaven for his misdeeds, and now, in order to return back, he must endure 100 love disappointments. The younger sister did not quite believe him and decided to punish him for his deception and dissolute lifestyle. The elder sister said that she believed him because she had never received such divine pleasure with anyone. The younger sister and the owner of the salon thought the same thing. They had never experienced such emotions in bed with anyone as with a hero. The fairy decided to give each girl a spiritual ring that could transport them to the hero's home play area. Princess Siri said that she did not want to communicate with a womanizer, and she also became the head of the clan, and she had little time. The older sister liked the idea of the ring and was wondering if it would immediately take her to the hero's bedroom. The younger sister did not like Maggie's reasoning, as she was jealous of Sam for all the girls. The owner of the salon touched the water with her feet on the shore of the lake and gave herself up to memories. She remembered the times when the hero was very close to her and missed her. And then, as if by magic, handsome Sam appeared. He greeted the girl and asked what she was doing after he left. She said that she traveled and studied magical musical techniques of seduction. Sam asked her to demonstrate her skills on her favorite musical instrument. The girl picked up a jade flute and said that playing it could cloud the hero's mind. Sam said that his level was too high for the girl to harm him. The girl took the hero's words as a challenge and decided to show him what she was capable of. The girl began to play. Magical music came from the flute, and a fire flared up inside the hero. The hero attacked the girl, not allowing her to finish the game. He could not control himself. Sam said that her magical flute playing lit a fire in his heart, and he wanted to let her play his flute. The girl pretended that she was not ready for a joint orchestra right now, but she really wanted to be in his arms. The girl decided to give herself to the hero and do as he wanted, because their desires coincided. The girl played the flute while the hero gave them both pleasure. 3 days passed. The game assistants did their best to improve the hero's playing space. When the hero had a rest and established life in his home playing field, he decided to go to the next level. The hero asked the fairy if she could deliver him to the next level in a different way than last time, so that he would not run from the guards. The fairy noted that the landing point and the identity of the hero are chosen randomly and wished him good luck. Sam again found himself in a whirlpool of gaming energy, sucking him to a new level. This time he found himself imprisoned in a dungeon with slaves who were awaiting an auction. They were going to be sold. His appearance changed. His nose and ears were sharp. It was not clear what kind of creature he was. Next to him in the cell, he saw a beautiful creature in rags. They had strange pointed ears, and some even had horns. A girl with yellow eyes and ears like a fox approached the hero and asked if he was okay. The hero did not answer anything, grabbed the girl by the ears to check if they were real. The girl asked him not to touch other people's ears because they are very sensitive. The hero asked everyone what kind of creatures they were if their ears were real. The girls replied that they were half-humans who had been captured and were going to be sold at auction. We are shown the city of Gaia, where humans, demi-humans, and demons live together and contribute to the development of the city. 500 years ago, a war broke out between humans and demons, and both sides suffered great losses, but humans eventually won. After which the Church of the Divine Color proclaimed humans the superior race and demons the inferior, and even later the demons became slaves in the hands of humans. The hero realized that he belonged to the demon race and asked why the half-human girl was also imprisoned. The fox girl replied that people have stopped taking into account not only demons, but also half-humans. Their villages are being captured, and they themselves are being taken prisoner. For the same reason, the rest of the girls from the Uzumaki, Horned, and Slime clan are here. Sam said that he understands why they can kidnap beautiful girls from demons and half-humans, but why they kidnapped him? Because he is a man. The girl explained that men are considered even more valuable for kidnapping. After all, men can be bought by the richest ladies in the city and used for their perverted fantasies. The hero thought that this was a very good plan. To get out of captivity, you just need to please the rich lady. The girl from the Uzumaki clan said that she had not heard of any of the male slaves ending well, because there is no guarantee that it won't be bought by a rich man pervert. The hero was upset and did not understand how he could get out of captivity and complete this level successfully. The time for the auction arrived, and the richest people in the city gathered in the hall. Rich men in masks discussed slaves bought at past auctions, who had been fed to dogs or otherwise killed because they had misbehaved. The person conducting the auction was already presenting the seventh lot. She was a very beautiful young girl from the Cat clan, who was wearing a gorgeous dress, and there was fear in her eyes. The rich began to raise signs with their numbers and name prices ranging from $3 to $6 million. One of the oligarchs with plate number 599 said that his collection was just missing one more cat and offered $9 million. The deal for the cat girl was closed, and she was placed at the disposal of a wealthy gentleman. The gentleman grabbed her hand tightly and was ready to take her to the room for carnal pleasures. He couldn't wait to try her. The girl attacked the gentleman and bit him very hard on the hand. The girl ran with all her might. It seemed to her that she could run away, and no one would find her. But the people who kidnapped her and brought her to the auction had all unforeseen situations in mind. Someone in charge pressed a button that stopped anyone who broke the rules. The button was responsible for detonating the collar located on the necks of all slaves at the auction. There was a strong explosion. Nothing was left of the girl, only burnt scraps of her dress scattered to the sides. The hero was shocked by what was happening. He did not understand why he had to kill the girl because there are other ways of control. The fox said that this is a rule, since any animal that bites a person must be killed. The hero was very angry. He did not perceive what was happening as a game. He wanted to punish people who do this to demi-humans. The presenter said that everyone will forget this incident when they see the new lot, which will impress everyone. He presented a hero who looked simply amazing and carried himself on stage like a master, not a slave. The rich girls could not contain their emotions. They were ready to do anything to get Sam as their slave. Sam said that if anyone wanted to buy it, they would have to buy 4 more half-human girls standing behind the scenes. The host asked how the slave dared to set his conditions, but the main character told him to shut his dirty mouth. The hero was very serious, and the presenter could not say anything to him in response. Using a charm technique, Sam said that he was going to serve well the gentleman who would buy him and his 3 girlfriends. The start of trading began at $70 million and in a few seconds reached $85 million. A mustachioed man in a mask looked indignant, seeing how everyone was fighting over the product. But then he jumped up sharply and shouted that from today on, he liked men and was ready to pay $150 million. A rich, beautiful lady in a short skirt intervened in the game and made a bet of $500 million. The girls were surprised by such generosity, but were upset that they did not have enough money to take such a beautiful slave. The presenter said that in this case, all 5 slaves become the property of Mistress Ginevra. The hero himself was shocked that they were willing to pay such a high price for a half-human of his race. The lady looked at the hero with loving eyes, and she couldn't wait to realize her fantasies with his participation. We are being moved to the domain of Mrs. Ginevra. It is late evening. The mistress's maid asked the hero to take off his old clothes, take a shower, and dress in decent clothes. The hero began to ask the maid about Madame Ginevra, about what she was like. The girl avoided answering and said that the hero would soon find out everything himself from the lips of the hostess herself. The hero decided to go change clothes to look as good as possible in front of the hostess. In the closet, he saw many costumes for role-playing games and thought that he would be interested in seeing the skills of the mistress. Ginevra walked into the room in a beautiful outfit. The smell of her perfume could be heard a mile away. The hero chose a more or less decent men's outfit that emphasized his athletic torso. She entered the room. The hero saw that her level was 5 stars and she was a very strong character. He called her to him and said that he was ready to give her satisfaction for the entire amount that she paid for him. The girl liked Sam's self-confidence and wanted to test him as quickly as possible. The girl threw the hero onto the bed, bent over like a cat, and put her knee between his legs. She sat astride him and began to take off his shirt to see his athletic body. An instant, and he was shackled with magic handcuffs. Now he could not move. His arms and legs were tied to the bed, and the girl continued to sit on top. Now the girl offered to talk about business, and it should soon become clear why she paid such a sum for him. The girl showed the hero her fangs and ears, which were exactly like his. The hero was wondering what she was up to and why she needed him. It turned out that all the girls in her castle were the same demons as himself. Ginevra revealed that she is a subordinate of the Demon King, who was sealed 500 years ago. She bought his life so that he could help destroy the hammer and resurrect the king, who was sealed by the 7 sages of divine light. The girl has been trying to find a way to destroy this hammer for many years, but nothing has worked out for her. The hero said that he knows the legend of the hammer and also knows that any demon who touches the hammer will be dead. Ginevra said that she knows a way to remove the seal, but only Sam is capable of this. She said that all 7 sages of divine light are long dead, and there is only one heiress who holds the seal. This is Irina. If you get rid of Irina, the seal will be broken, and the heart of the Demon King will be freed. Due to the fact that the members of the Hammer of Light are holy people, if they fall in love with a demon and surrender to him, the seal will be broken. The hero said that he could not destroy an innocent girl in order to free the main demon. The lady said that she had anticipated his answer and learned that she did not need the whole hero. The hero, with fear in his eyes, began to ask what these words of hers meant. The girl said that to complete the mission, all she needed was a holy source, which she could cut off for him and so on to another. The girl swung the knife very hard and wanted to cut off what was so dear to Sam. Sam managed to shout some kind of spell to try to protect himself. From the blow to the hero's groin, the blade in Ginevra's hands bent, and she received a bruise on her arm. She didn't expect that getting his magic source would not be so easy. The hero lay calmly. He managed to use the magic stone spring technique. This gave strength to his entire body, and he easily got rid of the handcuffs. The girl realized that the hero is not an ordinary demon, but a wizard who can do more than meets the eye. Sam again decided to try the seduction technique, but he had to try, since the mistress is a 5th-level character. The girl asked him to earn 500 million in kind and give her heavenly pleasure. She fell onto the bed and relaxed to get the maximum pleasure from their meeting. Sam turned her over on her stomach and told her not to strain herself if she wanted to fly to heaven. His movements were so gentle and fast that the girl at times lost consciousness in ecstasy. But the hero did not stop there and demonstrated to the hostess all the new techniques for controlling his and her body. The girl called the hero very resilient, even for a demon, and praised him for his skills. Sam's passing girlfriends, whom he had taken with him, turned around at the mistress's moans. They were sad that they were not in Mistress Ginevra's place now because she moaned so sweetly. The stormy night passed and a calm, sunny morning arrived. Sam woke up Ginevra, wished her good morning, and asked how she was feeling. The girl said that despite the fact that he is the first man in her life, she is sure that since he does not give pleasure to anyone. The hero was surprised that for a woman like her, he was only the first partner. The girl asked how the hero did not recognize an inexperienced girl in her. Sam chalked up her skills to natural talent and incredible charisma. The girl confessed to Sam about her plans, in which her first man should be the king of demons. Sam reminded her that he was not going to help her return her king and kill and seduce an innocent girl. Ginevra took advantage of the virgin blood and used the magic of the pure blood chain. She said that if the chain breaks, they will both die, and she is ready to die for the sake of her master. Sam did not expect that he would fall under a spell of such power, and his life could be in danger. Ginevra, holding the magic chain in her hands, said that for the last time she asked the hero to help her return the master. The hero felt pain in his heart and realized that the jokes were over. The girl promised to remove the spell of blood chains and also reward the hero if he helps her. Sam said that he would definitely cope with all the tasks and defeat the Church of Divine Light. The girl gave the hero a route along which the heir to the Hammer of Light, Irina, could move. Sam asked not to offend his 4 friends while he was on a mission. 3 days later, the hero was already in the distant forests, where Irina's path passes. There was a roar and blows of the hammer, with which Irina scattered creatures from the underworld in different directions. The girl looked amazing, from her locks of hair to her shiny armor. Irina heard cries for help coming from nearby in the forest. She didn't know what was happening, but she hurried to help those in need. Cries for help were made by our hero, dressed in an eccentric white and red outfit. He was attacked by underground creatures with huge fangs and a bad smell from their mouths. But Sam was not going to engage in battle. He expected salvation, hoped that Irina would come to his cry. And his plan worked. Very quickly, the same warrior, the heir of the 7 saints, was approaching the scene. She struck the ground with such force that the ground disappeared from under the feet of the underground creatures. After the blow, none of them could get up. The hero did not check whether they were alive. The hero thanked the savior and introduced himself as a priest from a nearby village. The girl introduced herself as a holy knight from the Church of Divine Light named Irina. Sam replied that goblins had entered his village and kidnapped one of the residents, and since the village could not afford to hire a knight, he went to save her. Irina said that despite his courage, he was not strong enough to deal with the goblins. The hero replied that he believed in divine light, which in any case would bring justice, even at the cost of his life. The warrior did not understand why her heart began to beat faster. She looked at the hero with admiration. Irina invited the hero to go on a journey together, destroy the horde of goblins, and save the kidnapped girl. The hero realized that ingratiating himself with the warrior would not be difficult for him. Irina cast some kind of spell using a magic hammer. To the hero's question, she replied that this is a spell of divine light that helps to detect goblins. She pointed to the black aura and explained that there were goblins there that they needed to defeat. She was excited about the upcoming journey and said it was time to hit the road. Turning around, the girl saw a dark aura on the main character and asked what it meant. Sam was sure that it was all over and his plan had failed. But the girl said that he was probably imbued with demonic energy during the battle with the goblins. Sam really liked her version and began to say that Irina is very smart. The girl said that if he were a demon, she would not have spared him and destroyed him with one blow. In fact, Irina lied, because several years ago, when people were destroying the goblin settlement in the valley, she had such an opportunity. She found 2 small goblin children but did not kill them, and she protected them from people with a divine light barrier. She helped them hide and thereby saved their lives. She herself did not understand why she did this. Now, together with Sam, they were in a cave in which it was very hot. The hero said that goblins choose places near volcanic mines, and also asked Irina to take off her armor so as not to get heat stroke. He didn't expect her to listen to his advice and start taking off her clothes so quickly. The girl remained in sports underwear, which emphasized her figure. The heroine noticed how Sam was looking at her and he felt ashamed. Irina said that she plays sports every day, which is why she has such a good figure. The hero decided to make a compliment using charisma and said that her beauty and strength attracted him very much. But Irina said that they needed to hurry and quickly walked deeper into the cave. Sam heard the ground crunch under Irina's feet and tried to stop her. But it was too late, and the warrior was already falling down into a deep hole. Having landed, Irina examined herself and realized that she was not injured. But I noticed that I stepped with my hands and feet into something dirty and disgusting. The hero shouted that this was slimy acid and that he urgently needed to get out before the body dissolved in it. Irina was very frightened. The liquid burned her skin and dissolved her clothes. The warrior Irina's sports stockings also began to dissolve. The hero tried to give his hand to the girl in order to save her and pull her out of the pit of poison. He succeeded, but the girl still had poisonous mucus on her, corroding her delicate skin. Irina tried to cleanse her skin using the divine light technique, but it didn't work out for her, and she thought that now she wouldn't be able to wear such revealing outfits, since her skin would be ruined. The hero said that magic is powerless here, and we need to turn to folk methods. The hero was ashamed to admit what kind of method this was. Irina had no time for embarrassment, because a few more minutes and her skin would not remain its former beauty. Then the hero sat her down on the ground and took her long, gorgeous leg closer to him. The girl did not fully understand what he was going to do to help her. The hero was worried, but could not allow the girl to be harmed. The hero began to lick her foot, each toe separately. He moved higher and higher, and the girl squirmed in his strong arms. The hero continued to use his tongue. Irina could not restrain her emotions and control her body. The girl asked him to be gentle and said that she had never been with a man before. The hero received a new achievement that made his tongue so dexterous that it could be used to knit a sweater. An hour later, the heroes completed their rescue operation, and Sam gave his outerwear to Irina. Irina was pleased to smell Sam's clothes, but she still felt weak. They moved further into the cave, Sam helping her go. Meanwhile, a fragile girl with a beautiful figure was lying tied up on the floor of the cave. The goblins looked at her, licking their lips. They dreamed of tasting fresh human meat. There was a strong blow of the mace on the ground, and the goblin was carried away by the blast wave. An angry woman appeared, screaming and asking the goblins why they had brought the girl if she ordered the abduction of strong men. One of the goblins pointed to a man in a cage, to which the woman stated that strong and fat are 2 different things, and with such men, she would not be able to create strong offspring. She was shown a half-human with a bull's face, and she replied that this was not the race she needed. They pointed to the man. She said he was too old and weak. The woman heard footsteps in the cave. This attracted her attention. The heroes showed up, and Irina told Sam that they were in the Goblin Queen's lair. The Goblin Queen saw Sam and was so amazed that she could not immediately formulate her thoughts. In the woman's eyes, Sam looked amazing. She had never met such guys before. Sam's charisma was already affecting the woman, and she couldn't take her eyes off him. Irina called the woman a monster and ordered the abducted people to be released. To the surprise of everyone, she quickly agreed, but decided to set conditions. She decided to exchange prisoners for the main character in order to take advantage of his ideal genetics. The heroes were a little surprised by this development of events and did not know what to do correctly. The Goblin Queen said that she wanted to taste fresh flesh, but not to kill and eat, but to create ideal offspring. Irina said that she would never give the hero into the clutches of this terrible woman. But the hero feignedly said that he was ready to sacrifice his body to save the hostages. The queen said that she had had enough of idle chatter, and it was time to talk in private. With a snap of her fingers, the ground began to tremble under Irina's feet, and then began to move away from under her feet. Irina left the meeting place and flew down. How far, no one knew. She still had a magic hammer with her, and with the help of it, she was able to land on her feet. She realized that she was in a magical labyrinth, and she urgently needed to get out to save Sam. Meanwhile, the Goblin Queen sat half-naked on her luxurious bed. The bound hero stood on his knees in front of the queen and waited to see what would happen next. The girl said that Sam has nothing to be afraid of, because she does not feed on people. She said that the goblins brought the kidnapped people by mistake. She just asked them to find her a man with good genes to give birth to an outstanding goblin. The hero was flattered by her choice of man, and the queen said that after he helped her, she would let him and the local residents go home. The hero replied that he agreed to her conditions if she promised to fulfill what she said. The girl said that she would untie Sam and warned that her character and habits in bed might seem wild to him. Sam, in an instant, broke the ropes that bound him, thereby making it clear that he was not afraid of her wild behavior. He said that she would still beg him for mercy because he was confident in his abilities. With one touch, he tore the queen's clothes. Now nothing separated them. Sam asked if he could use her toy to increase pleasure. The girl replied that this toy could not harm her, and he could try it. She turned her back to him and leaned her elbows on the headboard. Sam took the spiked bat in his right hand and began rhythmically touching its queen. The queen moaned, not from pain, but from pleasure. Very soon he took out his spikeless bat and was already wielding it inside. Despite the fact that the queen was very strong and resilient, she no longer even had the strength to say enough was enough. Meanwhile, Irina wandered through the labyrinth and tried to find a way out. The girl decided that if she couldn't find a way out, she would definitely do it herself. The girl began to pass through walls thanks to a magic hammer. She swung it left and right, and now she had confidence that very soon she would get out. In the queen's bedroom, it was all over. The woman could not speak. She only nodded. Sam asked the queen not to tell Irina or other people anything. The wall in the room began to crack, and the blows were heard more and more loudly. The wall of the room was blown to smithereens. It looked like an explosion. Irina ran in, shouting that she was going to save the hero from the dirty goblin queen. Irina noticed that the queen was lying half-naked on the bed. Sweat was flowing from her, and she was unable to talk. The hero pretended to be conducting a sacred ritual to cleanse the queen's soul from demons. The queen began to play along with him and say that she had thought everything over and was ready to take the path of correction. The girl asked how Sam managed to correct the real evil living in this woman. The hero said that he gave her a lecture about the path of divine light, and she rethought her life. Irina asked how anyone could trust her after she kidnapped people from the village. The queen said that she had not harmed them, had already sent them home and asked for forgiveness. The warrior said that she would forgive her the first time, but if this happens again, there will be no more chance. Sam thanked Irina for her trust and said that they were both tired and needed to return to the village to rest. Before letting Sam go, the queen asked him when he had free time to teach her to be true a few more times. We moved to the village of Sima, located a few hours from the Goblin Caves. The hero shows the village where he supposedly serves as a priest and gives Irina a tour of it. People gathered around Sam and his companion. Everyone thanked him for saving their relatives. But Sam began to tell everyone that he could never have saved them alone, and therefore he needed to thank Irina from the Church of Divine Light. The girl said that it was her duty, as the heir of the 7 great saints, to help people. The children came running and began praising Irina for her beauty and saying how lucky Sam was to have such a girlfriend. The girl was confused and did not know how to respond to such a statement. But Sam came to her aid and explained to the children that he and Irene were just friends. The girl did not understand why she was overcome by such emotions and why she wanted to agree with the children. The hero asked Irene for forgiveness, since there was no hotel in the village and he had to offer her a bed in his room. Night fell. The village was illuminated by the full moon. There was something romantic about it. The hero did not sleep. He was thinking about how to move on to a closer relationship with Irene. He knew that he had almost won her favor. Ginevra appeared on the hero's bed. She said that they need to meet periodically so that the chain does not lose elasticity, otherwise it will break. The hero was afraid that Irene could see them, but Ginevra said that she had cast an invisibility spell. Therefore, it does not matter at all how strong the moans will be heard in the room. Irene was sleeping, and behind her there was a merging of 2 bodies, beating in ecstasy of pleasure. Irene felt the room shake, but could not see what was happening. It seemed to her that an earthquake had begun. Irene thought that it was her imagination. She really wanted to turn around and see the hero sleeping, but she was not shy. 2 bodies intertwined a few centimeters from the warrior. Ginevra was very excited by this. A drop of sweat from Ginevra's face rolled right onto Irene's cheek, who felt it at that very second. She immediately realized that it was the sweat of a demon, as she felt a strong, burning sensation on her skin. Irene jumped up and shouted that there were demons nearby and we needed to be ready to fight. Sam, hiding the girl under the blanket, said that there was nothing to worry about because no one could be here. Irene said that she could not be mistaken because her body had undergone divine baptism and was very sensitive to demons. The hero began to laugh it off and say that a demon could not fit in such a small room. Irene noticed that the hero's face was red and asked if he was okay. The girl under the blanket continued to test the hero's strength and did not let his body out of hers. The hero tried with all his appearance to prove that everything was in order, but there was a fire burning inside. The girl said that she felt the heavy breathing of the demon and would definitely find him. She noticed the hero's blanket, which was rising and falling unnaturally. I rushed to the bed to tear the blanket off the hero and see what I was looking for. But there was no one under the blanket. The hero was as embarrassed as possible, but this was not noticeable from his body. Irene looked at the hero with big eyes and began to stammer and stutter when she saw him without a blanket. Ginevra watched from the side. Under the influence of the spell, she managed to escape, and now she thought that she did not want to part with Sam, even after the mission. Irene remembered Sam's body. She was embarrassed, but the desire became stronger. She tried to sleep so as not to immediately attack Sam and take him by force. She dreamed of a temple of light in which Sam was the chief priest. He fascinated her with his appearance and asked if she was ready to accept the Pope's holy baptism. She didn't try to resist. She was ready for whatever was required of her. She knelt before her dad and begged for the sins she wanted to commit. The Holy Father held her by the hair and asked if she was ready to accept the divine light of the Holy Father into her body. Irene woke up, sweat dripping from her forehead. Everything inside was burning. The desire to be with the hero overwhelmed her. The hero was not in the room, and Irene thought it was for the best. Sam entered the room, wished her good morning, and invited her to breakfast. Meanwhile, Sam played with the children and gave them sweets. Irene considered Sam to be a good man, with a sense of justice and respect for adults and children, and she wanted to invite him to join her church. A member of the Church of Divine Light named Stan arrived in the village. He said that he was looking for his warrior sister named Irene. A little chicken ran up to him and dirtied his new shiny leather shoes. Stan got angry and decided that the one who dared to humiliate him should not live. A loud clap of the soul was heard, a short whistle, and all that was left of the chicken was a wet spot. The villagers were ready to rush at the evil man because they loved the baby so much. Stan said that it was just a chicken and there was no need to make a tragedy out of it. But the residents were not satisfied with the killer's answer because the baby was the mascot of their village. Stan said that he was too important a figure in society and could not ask for forgiveness from just anyone. A huge turd flew into his face, covering his eyes, nose, and mouth. The villagers continued to throw poop at the brute with jokes about not underestimating the village. Residents continued to throw whatever they could get their hands on at Stan: eggs, poop, vegetables, and garbage. Stan, under the pressure of the villagers, went back and did not notice how he approached the cliff. He stumbled and fell down, unable to do anything to avoid falling. A surprise awaited him below. He fell into a pit of waste that emitted a foul odor. He was very angry and promised to punish all the villagers who had defamed him. Irene found herself near the garbage pit and asked Stan what he was doing here. He replied that he was worried about her and missed her very much. She asked him not to approach as his smell was a mixture of dead animals and rotting vegetables. Stan told how the people of their village attacked him and threw him into a waste pit. The villagers asked, since when could members of the Church of Divine Light oppress ordinary people and kill animals? The hero said that the killed chicken had been a symbol and amulet of the village for several years, and if Stan did not apologize, the residents would not calm down. In order not to look like a fool in front of Irina, Stan publicly asked for forgiveness for his unworthy behavior and compensated for the damage financially. Stan took a bath and said that the mission was completed and they could return to the Church of Divine Light. Sam said that he was pleased to meet the girl and hopes that they will meet again someday. The girl began to ask the hero to join the Church of Divine Light and follow her. Sam said that he was a simple priest and did not deserve to be near them, but inside he was glad that the plan worked. Stan began to talk about how not everyone can join the Church of Divine Light, especially not a village priest. Residents intervened in the conversation and began to say that Sam was not just a priest, but the pride of the entire village. Irene said that everyone is equal before the Divine Light, regardless of background and circumstances, and therefore she vouches for it. The hero promised to do everything in his power to meet her hopes. Stan agreed, but said that he would still have to pass the test along with everyone else. Stan invited Irene to ride a horse with him and offered the hero a separate horse. But Irene refused the offer and said that she would go with Sam. Stan was worried that he had ruined his impression of himself in front of Irene, and now it would be difficult to restore it. Stan's horse fell and lost consciousness. He did not understand what happened to it. The hero said that it was because of the stench from the garbage pit, which would not be washed off for several days. Irina suggested that Stan meet at their destination, near the Church of Divine Light. The hero was very happy to travel alone with Irene, because this way they could become closer to each other much earlier. Stan was very angry with the hero and promised that he would not leave it just like that. Irene would still be his girlfriend. The heroes rode on a white horse. It was just the two of them, and nature was all around. Irene asked if it was necessary to ride more slowly, since this was the hero's first ride on horseback. The hero thought that he had already seen this scene before and decided to check it out. He hugged the girl tightly around the waist and used the burning feelings technique. A fire flared up inside the girl. She felt the blood rush to different parts of her body. Suddenly, she screamed and realized that it was just a dream, so terrible and sweet at the same time. The girl said that they had almost arrived at their destination and the holy city was already visible. The city was beautiful. The buildings looked neat and powerful. Irene said that the city is the richest place on the continent and houses the residents of the Church of Divine Light. The hero liked the city and was impatient to begin the test to become a member of the church. The hero wanted to rent a hotel room, but Irene offered him a room in her house. She said that her house was very spacious and he should like it there. 10 minutes later, they came to Irene's house and the hero couldn't believe his eyes. He asked the girl how she decided to tell him that it was just a cozy house. The hero began to think about who Irene is if she has such a castle at her disposal. The girl said that she inherited the house from her parents. Many years ago, the girl's parents were killed by demons, but she miraculously managed to escape. When the demons got their turn to kill Irene, she was not afraid of death. She wanted to follow her parents. And then a flaming ball appeared, and the demons died, unable to bear the heat of the divine fire. She was saved by the previous owner of the Hammer of Light, setting an example that demons were not afraid of her. Since then, Irene has joined the Church of Divine Light and helps people fight evil spirits. The hero pretended to smile, but was afraid that she might find out about his real essence. At the entrance, they were met by the butler Sebastian, who was delighted to have a guest in the house. He said that he was glad to meet Mrs. Irene's boyfriend. The girl said that they were just friends, and he would stay for a few days to prepare for the entrance test. Sebastian said that while his mistress was away, he hired 2 demi-humans as maids who could help the guest settle in the bedroom. And then Sam saw the girls he knew, whom he saved at the auction. The hero was very surprised by such a meeting. He was interested in the question of why they were here. Hannah and Bella said there was nothing to worry about, and they would escort the guest to a place where he could comfortably settle down. The girls led him to one of the rooms of the castle. They said that he could enter. It was a bedroom for guests. Sam entered the room and said that he was waiting for an explanation from his friends. He was interested in how they ended up here, and most importantly, for what purpose. The friends said that they were sent by their mistress Ginevra to assist the hero in carrying out her insidious plan. Sam thought that he still knew very little about Ginevra's capabilities, but in any case, it wouldn't hurt to help him. Hannah and Bella were glad that the hero took their stay in the castle on the positive side. They promised to do whatever it took. Meanwhile, Sam decided to relax in the bathroom. It was nice for him to take off his priest's clothes and take a break from everything. But Sam's calm was broken. Someone entered the bathroom. The first thing he saw was slender legs and a towel put on a naked body. It was Hannah and Bella, who were already without clothes, only wet towels covering their bodies. They wanted to take a bath with Sam. The hero did not immediately understand why they had come and began to ask them what they needed. Hannah said that she and her friends are very grateful to him because he helped them gain freedom and escape death. Now it's their turn to repay him. The girls entered the water. Hannah offered to rub the hero's back, and Bella approached Sam from the front. She dove under the water and Sam felt her hand grab him between his legs. The girl suddenly emerged from the water. Sam was worried about whether she had time to unclench her hand under the water. Bella said that he doesn't have to worry. She will do everything so that he likes it and doesn't regret saving them from death. Sam noticed how transparent Bella had become and asked Hannah what was going on. She replied that Bella is from the Slug clan, and when she comes into contact with water, she can change her body, taking on any shape. Sam decided to touch the girl and his hand went inside her body. He was pleased with these sensations. The girl said that she also felt pleasant sensations from the hero's touches, and she wanted to feel his whole body. It was visible how her watery shell separated and enveloped Sam's body. Both of them were overcome by pleasant sensations. It seems to Sam that he is at the pinnacle of bliss. He felt Bella with every cell of his body. The girl's sensations were even stronger. Pleasure spread throughout her body. The girl could not stand so many emotions. From overexcitation, her watery body began to split into molecules. It seemed there would be an explosion. Hannah managed to pull the hero out of the water body before splitting occurred. Sam looked in the direction where the explosion had occurred a few seconds ago and saw Bella. But she was not alone. There were 4 girls in the water, and each of them looked like Bella. Hannah explained that this is a skill of the Slug clan. They can create several clones that have common feelings. The hero never expected that he could try to play with so many girls at the same time. He was glad. We are transported to the kitchen of the castle, where the warrior Irene communicates with her butler Sebastian. The girl thanks the man for the delicious, freshly squeezed orange juice. Sebastian asks the hostess about her attitude towards Sam, who was brought to her house. He considers her to be in love. But although the girl blushes at these words, she still says that there is nothing and cannot be between them. Sebastian looked at the family portrait of the mistress and her late parents, and remembered her mother's words that thanks to the red skirt, the gentleman fell under her spell. With sadness, Sebastian realized that he would never forget the expression on Irina's father's face when it came to his wife. The girl, meanwhile, left the kitchen, saying that she still had unfinished business and needed to run. Sebastian understood how the hostess had grown since her parents passed away. Meanwhile, in Sam's room, Bella was lying on the bed, exhausted. She was a human again, and she had only one body. The hero, lying with his head on Hannah's lap, thought that if he were not a demon, he would not have mastered so many girls in one night. Hannah looked at the tired Sam with love. She really enjoyed the night she spent with him. It was magical. The hero lay there. He didn't want to get up. After such a stormy night, he needed rest. The hero received a 4-star character card and the ability to transform into a fox. The second game card also gave him game points and the ability to transform into a slime. The calm was disturbed by loud and strong knocks on the hero's bedroom door. It was Irina, and she wanted to talk to Sam. But it was impossible to open the door for her when there were half-naked girls lying on his bed. But the door was not locked, and the girl said that if he was awake, she would come in. Irina sharply opened the door to the room. The hero's heart squeezed harder, and the girls on the bed instantly used their camouflage abilities. Sam was sitting in the bed under the blanket, with a slug on his head covering the tips of his ears, and a small fox lying on his lap. The hero stroked it like an ordinary cat. Irina asked why there was a slug and a fox in his room, and why he was acting so strangely. The hero came up with a stupid excuse and said that they came from the forest. He fed them, and they didn't want to leave. Irina believed in his stories, said that he had a good heart, and her choice in his favor turned out to be very correct. She wants to help him pass the test of divine light, and therefore will pass on information about special training. Sam thought that this would be very useful, and said out loud that he didn't know if she was doing the right thing. The girl said that during the test, a staff of light would be used against him, which creates illusions, turning people's main weaknesses against them. These weaknesses are lust, gluttony, greed, envy, anger. People with these vices will not pass the test. Sam put his hand on his heart and said that his actions and thoughts are pure, and everything he does is for the sake of justice, and therefore he will pass the test. The girl said that she believed in him, because besides lust, she saw no other sins in him. Sam acknowledged Irina's position and asked how she could help him in this situation. The girl took off her dress. She was not wearing underwear. Her skin was very soft and her figure was slender. The hero was amazed by her action and did not understand why she did it. But the girl explained that he needed to pacify his lust, train with her. Then he would be able to resist illusions during the test. Sam approached the girl, put his arm around her waist and pulled her close, asking what would happen if he couldn't control himself. Irina replied that then her body would be desecrated, but she believed him, and he would not let her down. Sam asked what they would do next to increase his resilience level. The girl took out a magic emerald and squeezed it in her fist. A tight suit began to appear on her body. Her hair fluttered in the wind and gave off an exciting scent. The hero looked at her body. He thought about whether he needed this test. Sam thought that if you just looked from the outside, it might not be so difficult to restrain yourself. He also mentally thanked the fox and slug that Hannah and Bella had turned into, because the stormy night had relieved him of the stress. But Irina began to come closer. The situation became more complicated. She began hugging him from behind, breathing heavily in his ear, which set Sam on fire in his head. The hero held on as best he could, although it was very difficult. Irina tried her best to seduce Sam, but she really hoped that she would not succeed. After an hour of bullying the hero, the girl got dressed, said that now he would definitely succeed, and said goodbye to him. The door slammed shut, leaving Sam, Hannah, and Bella outside the room. The girls were surprised by the guy's resilience, because they saw how passionately Irina tried to seduce him. He turned around, beads of sweat running down his face. His eye was twitching. He said that if they didn't help him, he would burn from the inside. He was overexcited. Although the girls were wary of this attitude, they were not against repeating the night games and having fun once again. The next morning came. The day of testing the Church of Divine Light came. Irina asked Sam why his face looked tired. Sam replied that he was nervous before the test and was fine. The girl led the hero to the church, where the test was to take place. Already in the church, Sam saw a man in the robes of a nun. In his hands there was a staff. This person was a delightful girl named Franca. She introduced herself as one of the 7 sages of divine light and the staff of light. Sam introduced himself as the priest of a small village. Stan appeared in the church, who began to call the hero a redneck and also say that he did not have enough strength to pass the test. Franca said that a person whose thoughts are impure will fail the test and will suffer fatal injuries. Sam spoke about his confidence and that he would not let Irina down, who believed in him so much. The girl beamed after hearing Sam's words. She began to see the hero more attractive. "In that case, go to the testing room. We can begin," said the serious Franca. According to the hero, Franca looked very cute, and he thought that passing the test would not be difficult. Irina told him not to be deceived by Franca's appearance, because each of the 7 sages of divine light has very strong abilities. Franca is a staff of light and is known for her love of torture. No one can withstand her torment. Sam walked up to the door leading to the testing room and said he was ready to begin. Franca said that he could come in and the test would begin, which would put everything in its place. The girl took off the blindfold and told me to look into her eyes. They were very unusual. Sam tried to compliment her eyes, but she cut him off. The girl talked about how she was wounded in a battle with demons and lost her sight. But divine light gave her the power to see through people. She found herself in Sam's inner world and decided to take a look around to see what he was like. Franca was very surprised when she was greeted. She was greeted by 5 model-looking guys, all of whom looked like Sam, but dressed in business suits rather than priestly robes. Inside Sam's world, the girl had different eyes and saw everything. She was interested in studying the strange inner world of the hero. Sam, in a business suit, invited Frank to sit down and talk to get to know him better. The girl accepted the hero's proposal. She liked such communication. Sam poured alcohol and invited her to drink a glass of red wine. The girl did not know how it would end, and persuaded herself to stick to what the divine light had bequeathed. Franca said that as the staff of light and one of the 7 sages, she should not drink alcohol. Sam said that they are in his world, and this all happens only in her head, so nothing prevents her from breaking the rules. Franca thought that Sam was right. She wanted to believe him. She began to drink glass after glass, forgetting about why she was in Sam's world. 2 hours passed, the alcohol in the bottles disappeared very quickly. Despite the large amount of alcohol that was drunk, the girl asked for more. Sam told the girl that she was already drunk. Everything was going according to the hero's plan. Frank blamed Sam for her condition and promised to punish him in the name of divine light. He gently took her hand and said that he understood her soul. She understands her loneliness, which has already become a part of her. Franca replied that she did not need anyone or anything except the divine light, for which she was ready to give her life. But at the same time, the girl thought about the quiet conversations behind her back. They feel sorry for her, because she cannot even see the divine light she serves. So she hurts others to numb her own. With every word, the girl realized that Sam was right. Sam said that such a young and beautiful girl needs to try all the delights of this life and not limit herself to anything. He snapped his fingers and the location changed. Now the girl was sitting on a large, soft bed in a red room, which conveyed the internal energy of lust and debauchery. Sam said that he could show her something better than divine light, but the girl was afraid. The hero said that what was happening was unreal, and she had nothing to fear, because it would not affect her in real life. He extended his hand to her and told her to follow him into a world of delight and lust. The hero took out his staff of light and showed it to Franca. She was pleasantly surprised. Their bodies merged together, and Sam inserted his staff into the girl, spasms of pleasure accompanying her body. And then she felt a pleasant, warm energy spreading throughout her body. She couldn't control herself and let out a long groan. The hero received an achievement card and the ability to use divine light. The girl woke up in the real world, in the hall where the test took place. She saw that she and Sam were lying on the floor and some of their clothes were missing, and she realized that everything had happened in the outside world. Sam replied that it doesn't matter whether it's fantasy or reality, but the main thing is that Franca liked it. She asked Sam who he was and why he did this to her, to which he replied that he was just a priest from the village who believed in the divine light. Sam said that if the girl doesn't want anyone to find out what happened between them, then she needs to give him a test. The girl realized that she had no choice, and now the situation has changed radically. Now it is not she who keeps people in fear, now she is afraid. The girl almost screamed. She only now noticed that her vision had returned. Sam, putting on the shirt, said that the reason for her blindness was that her mind and soul were not one, but when she began to listen to her desires, she was healed naturally. The hero said that Franca should arrange her personal life, then everything will work out in other areas of life. The girl was delighted with the meeting with the hero and could not refuse him his requests. The two of them left the testing room, where Irina was waiting for them. Franca said that the test was over. Irina began to ask how everything went and what the outcome of the test was. Stan was prematurely happy, even offering to help take Sam to his village on his own horse. But Franco loudly declared that Sam's faith in the divine light was stronger than ever, and that he had passed the test. Irina sincerely congratulated the hero, said that she believed in him, and was very happy. Stan was very upset that Sam was able to pass the test and become closer to Irene. Iena also noticed that Frankie's vision had been restored and asked how she did it. Franca did not know how to tell anyone about this miraculous healing. Sam intervened and said that Mrs. Franca had been blessed with divine light for her devotion and sincerity. The lady replied that everything was so. Her body was filled with divine light and healed. Irina was very happy and told Sam that successfully passing the test should definitely be celebrated. But Franca stopped them, saying that Sam had just joined the church and he needed to go there to accept the teaching. The hero said that if the instructions require it, then he agrees to go to church right now. Sam and Irina walked towards the exit of the castle. Stan angrily looked after them. He turned to Frank, said that he did not believe Sam's honesty, and asked if she had made any dubious deals with him. The girl replied that she respects Stan, but believes that he is minding his own business, since taking the entrance exam is her business. On the way to the church, Sam and Irina stopped at a cafe where a guy bought a milkshake from a cowgirl. She looked very attractive. Next, Irina invited the hero to go to her favorite clothing store. They were met by an attractive girl who greeted Irina and said that she had not visited them for a long time and asked what her boyfriend's name was. Irina sheepishly told the girl that she and Sam were just friends. The girl said that she understood her because everything starts with friendship, and then invited her into the hall to choose purchases. When Irina headed into the hall, the girl quietly turned to Sam and said that he had made the right choice because Irina was a very good girl. Irina asked Sam to come to the changing room so that he could help her. She couldn't fasten the clasp on the back and asked Sam to do it. She was very shy. She said that this dress size was just right for her last year, but now she can't button it up. The hero decided that this request would not be difficult for him, and he would cope. However, the clasp did not give in to the hero, and he decided to use magical power. He pulled the clasp with such force that he tore it out of the dress. It completely came apart and began to fall from Irina's beautiful figure. He did not expect that this could happen, and now he did not know where to run so as not to run into Irina's wrath. The girl burst into a loud scream. She called Sam a pervert. It could be heard far outside the store, and Sam also received a punch in the face for his tricks. But it was a rush of emotion, and the girl quickly regretted what she had done. She told the hero that she would meet him later and left. She was embarrassed. The hero once again thought that he needed to be more careful, because if Irina found out about his essence, she would definitely kill him. We are transported 3 days forward to the place where Mrs. Franca lives. The girl lets out a muffled groan, her strength running out. Sam says that with every prayer they share, his faith grows stronger. She can't say anything to the girl, she just nods her head. The hero has tired her. The hero notices that the girl is worried about something and asks him about it. The girl says that Stan is planning something bad, and the hero needs to beware of him, because he is a very powerful sage of the Divine Church of Light. Sam said that he had nothing to fear, because Mistress Irina was next to him, and Stan would not dare to harm him. The hero went to the castle across the street. It was late at night. He heard someone sneaking behind him and said out loud that the pursuer had better leave. He turned to look at the man who was following him. Behind him stood 5 men with weapons. They were aggressive. A fight could not be avoided. Based on their outfits, Sam determined that they were mercenaries, and they were following the instructions of the customer. And it was true. One of them, with a bald head, said that their task was to blow off his head. The hero decided not to give them a chance and to attack first. He used his magic. He called upon Princess Siri for help, throwing away her achievement card. Siri shows up and immediately reprimands Sam for throwing her card so hard. But after a few seconds, her mood returns to normal, and she asks how she can help him. Sam says that mercenaries who received a task from an unknown person want to kill him. The thugs do not take the princess seriously and invite each other to have fun with her before killing her because she looks very attractive. The girl asked the hero if he wanted these stupid, impolite pigs to die. The hero said that she had the opportunity to have fun and train on weaklings. The bald gang leader told them to shut up and surrender or face a harsh death. The battle began. The long-haired bandit sent a fireball at the heroes. Princess Siri easily deflected his blow, cutting the ball in half. She was attacked by 2 other mercenaries, but she easily fended off each of them. Sam admired Sister Siri's fighting technique. She had noticeably become a better fighter. when suddenly another gang member crept up from behind and stabbed Sam in the chest with a long blade. He figured that if Sam died, the summoning technique would dissipate and Siri would disappear. However, after the blow, Sam's shadow clone dissolved, leaving the enemy stunned. The hero said that he knew about attacks from behind more than anyone else, and therefore thought out escape routes in advance. But the blonde did not give up. He said that the village priest could not defeat him and his gang, and was already flying at him with a knife in his hand. Sam weighed the pros and cons and realized that the enemy was counting on his magical power, and he decided to act hand to hand. With his right hand, he drove into the enemy's jaw. The blow was so strong that the asphalt under the body of the fallen man broke in 5 places. Many bones were probably broken as the enemy could not move. Sam was clearly pleased with his knockout blow and felt that he was in good physical shape. Princess Siri also had everything ready. No one except the 2 heroes nearby could stand on their feet. The girl said that he should find out who was behind the attack so as not to wait for a second time. Sam replied that he could guess who the customer might be and would look into this matter. The hero thanked Princess Siri and said that it was time for her to return to her world. The girl asked if he really considered her just a tool that he could use at any moment, without giving anything in return. Sam felt embarrassed and asked what he could do for her so that she would not consider him a bad friend. The girl said that if they spent the night together, he would not owe her anything and would be able to call her again if she needed help. We are transported to the hotel, where the manager asks the heroes if they have a preference for the love room. Sam said he wanted to try the most unusual room they had in the hotel. Princess Siri was embarrassed and surprised by such a hotel, which has unusual love rooms. Sam told the princess to put aside her worries and trust him, even though he himself didn't know which room they were going to. In the room, they saw various oblong-shaped objects. The girl said that it was the first time she had seen such strange objects and was not sure that she wanted to use them. The object began to move and vibrate. Siri fell into a stupor and could not say a word. Sam said there was nothing to worry about, and they would figure out how to use it as the evening went on. The girl lay down on the bed. She did not understand why she felt shame. We are abruptly transported to the Church of Divine Light, where Irina, Sam, and Stan are standing. The hero yawns because he spent the whole night exploring various oblong-shaped objects with his girlfriend. Irina asks the hero why he didn't get enough sleep. Sam says he studied new techniques all night and didn't have time to sleep. Stan warns that when the Archbishop of the church comes, Sam needs to behave decently, and not as usual. Sam said he was much better behaved than Stan Stinky, who liked to kill little animals. Stan gets angry and promises to impale the hero when they leave the church. The Archbishop appears on the stage, greets the arrivals, and addresses the newcomer. Sam greets the boss and feels the fashionable aura emanating from him. The Archbishop immediately gets down to business and says that the activity of demons has increased recently, and he has 3 tasks for them. Stan needs to destroy the demons who are killing merchants outside the city. He accepts the task. Irina's task is to track down the demons that live in the city and destroy them. The girl accepts the task. The hero is sent to the Red Moon nightclub. Without finishing the task, he immediately accepts it. Then he realizes that he has already heard about this club and asks again about the task. The Archbishop says that he has information about the sale of demon slaves in this club, and his task is to prevent transactions from happening and demons from entering their city. Irina asked why Sam had such a difficult task. The main one replied that the Church of Divine Light does not need useless people, and if she believes in him, then he will cope. Sam confidently stated that he would cope with the task and would not let Irina down. The girl was pleased to hear the hero's words, and she decided that she needed to help him in his mission. Irina took out a bag full of money and gave it to the hero. The girl said that he needed a lot of money, since he would not be able to withdraw it through the security. He would have to ransom the slaves. Sam realized that the Church of Divine Light is not as simple as it seems from the outside. The hero thanked Irina, but refused the money, saying that he had a plan according to which he would not have to spend her money on slaves. The girl asked what his plan was, but Sam said that she would see everything herself when the time came. Night had fallen in the city. The moon illuminated the main street. A man leading a horse shouted at someone on the road to get away. A girl with a very familiar hair color was lying on the ground, showing her hopeless situation with all her appearance. The horse driver told the girl to get out of the way and not disturb his important gentleman. An obviously rich gentleman, covered in gold chains, looked out of the carriage and asked what was happening. The girl apologized, saying she had no choice, and she began to make eyes at the gentleman, using the magic of charisma. The man immediately fell in love with the attractive person. The carriage was moving towards the Red Moon nightclub. The carriage shook all the way, either from the bad road or from something else. The horse driver listened all the way to the sounds coming from the carriage. Upon arrival, a man got out of the carriage, but as you already understood, it was our hero, who turned into a rich gentleman and told the servant not to enter the carriage as the girl was resting. Sam was glad that his plan worked, and now he, in the guise of a rich man, will be able to participate in the auction. Meanwhile, the gentleman himself was resting in the carriage. At the reception, the girl recognized Mr. Stone, because he was a regular customer of their establishment and loved to spend time with their slaves. Sam, in the guise of Stone, said that he needed what he always needed, and now he was already lying in the room and waiting for the girls who were about to arrive. Two half-naked girls entered the room and said that they missed Mr. Stone. While he was not listening, they said that it was very easy to make money on him, because entertainment with him lasted only a few minutes. The hero thought to himself that today they would not be able to get their honestly earned money so easily. An hour later, Sam called the manager and said he needed help. He said that the girls she sent to him did not cope with their mission and passed out earlier than he needed, and asked if there was fresh goods. The manager replied that the client's desire is law for them, and they will be able to help him with his problem. She invited him to the dungeon, where new slaves were sitting behind bars. She showed him 3 tied-up girls who had very short dresses. She said that these demons are a very rare race and asked which one he wanted to choose. Sam said that it was not serious to offer such a rich gentleman only 1 girl, and he would take 3. The girl asked how he was going to pay, in cash or by check. Sam said that he would pay with a check for any amount because money is not a problem for their family. The girl asked Sam, in the guise of Mr. Stone, if he could buy her if he had so much money. The hero said that he could buy it next time, but now he asked to pack these 3 girls. The girl said that she would go get their clothes, and in the meantime, he could get to know them. Sam walked up to the cage and told the girls he wouldn't hurt them. The girls were afraid of the hero because everyone who wanted to buy a slave said that they would not cause harm. Then Sam took off his mask for a while and told them that he was a demon like them and had come to save them. The girls were very happy about the amazing rescue and thanked the hero. Sam said there was nothing to worry about and they would be free soon. The manager returned with the clothes, but Sam completely forgot to return to the guise of Stone. There was silence. Sam used charisma magic and ordered the woman to submit. The manager obeyed and sat down on her knees in front of the new owner. Sam turned into Stone, told the girls to change clothes and follow him, and act natural. When Sam was leading the girls, other club guests were jealous of the amount of money he could afford to buy 3 slaves at once. Sam pretended to be a tough gentleman and rudely answered and asked why they were looking at him like that. They left the club. The hero's plan was a success, and now they needed to go to a safe place. But then the real Mr. Stone appeared and began shouting that the imposter needed to be stopped, and the slaves returned. Sam realized that he had been discovered and there was no need to hide anymore. The hero and the girls began to run away, with the nightclub security chasing after them. Irina walked by and asked what Sam was doing here. The hero shouted that he needed help and would explain everything later. The girl reacted very quickly and rushed to the hero's defense. She used magic and created a barrier of divine light through which the pursuers could not pass. 30 minutes later, Sam and the demon girls were already at Irina's castle. The girls were exhausted and scared. They were afraid that they would be killed because they knew what the castle was. Irina asked Sam why he brought demons to her house, because the archbishop told him to destroy them. Sam said that he was not going to kill them and wanted to give them freedom. Sam said that it is wrong to kill creatures just because they are not of the same race as you, because among people there are also evil people who kill others. Irina said that they could no longer be in the castle, to which Sam replied that he would teleport them to a place where they would not have contact with people. And indeed, Sam used the device to transport the girls to another area. The girls were moved to a safe place, to the hot springs, to a place where our old friends, Princess Maggie and the former owner of the Intimate Services Salon, will take care of them. The princess looked at the girls. They were confused. The girls did not know what awaited them, but the situation was favorable. Sister Maggie said that she would teach them how to survive and that they should not be afraid of her. She began training the girls one at a time, with the goal of increasing their stamina to further satisfy Brother Sam. We are transported to the house of Franco's sister, where the hero arrived. The girl says that he is in danger because he failed the first task and did not destroy the demons, as the archbishop bequeathed. The hero says that that's why he came to her, to ask for help, and also to connect him with the archbishop for a conversation. The girl says that he is lucky and he can atone for his guilt, since today the only daughter of a rich businessman was kidnapped, and if he saves her, he will be forgiven. Sam was very happy about this situation and asked Franca to tell him more about what happened. The girl put her stockinged foot on the hero's shoulder and told him not to worry, because she could help him. Franco said she was trading information about the businessman's daughter for a sensual and gentle foot massage. Sam said that the mistress will be pleased, because giving girls pleasure is the meaning of his spiritual path. Loud female moans began to be heard from the room. The parishioners heard that they were coming from Mrs. Franco's bedroom. People said that Mrs. Franco was punishing infidels for the safety of all believers. The girl held her mouth with her hand, barely holding back a scream, waves of pleasure convulsively spreading throughout her body. Sam decided to play a joke and said that in the eyes of people she is still the same saint as she was before meeting him. Franco replied that nothing has changed since then. He just opened her eyes and now she sees the path of divine light even better. The hero said that it was time to discuss information about the stolen daughter of a businessman. The girl said that with the help, we cut to the Razor Gang building, where Sam is already trying to come up with a plan to break in. The hero decides to use a plan that always works. Cotton, a smokescreen, and we understand that Sam is turning into an attractive girl. He, in the guise of a girl, approaches the entrance to the building, and he directly asks the guards how he can find the Razor Gang. It is worth noting that Sam chose a very elegant appearance in order to save the girl as quickly as possible. The security confusedly asks the beauty why she needed the Razor Gang. Sam decided to come up with the most elegant lie and said that the leader of the gang invited him, and if he didn't show up on time, they might get hurt, so they needed to let him through. But the guard turned out to be not so simple. He knows that his owner does not bring girls home, but goes to have fun outside his borders. Sam has to use the skill of seduction to prevent the situation from getting out of control. The men thoughtlessly decide to listen to the hero and let him in. Sam, in the guise of a girl, thanks the guards and goes into the house. Sam walks through the house and notices how huge it is and what extensive renovations it has. Sam notices two large men guarding the door to the room and decides to go through that door. Sam greets the men and calls them handsome and asks them if they would like to spend their time with health benefits. Men also easily fell for the hero's charisma in the guise of a beautiful girl. And while they were unconscious and drooling, he knocked them to the floor with 2 knockout blows. Sam burst into the room where the prisoners were and said that he had come to save them. 2 girls in short dresses, one younger, the other older, were sitting tied up on the floor. Sam began to untie the young girl, who he thought was the daughter of that same rich businessman. But when he released her mouth, she screamed that the second girl needed to be freed first. The hero smiled and said that he would save the maid too. They were no longer in danger. But the girl shouted that the maid was her, and the tied girl was the daughter of a businessman. The hero did not understand how he could be so mistaken, because the first girl looks younger and more beautiful than the second. The girl shouted that she was also beautiful and young. Sam apologized using his charisma skills and the girl stopped screaming. Sam assumed that the girl was beautiful. She just got hit in the face for a very long time. The businessman's daughter said that no one beat her and that this was her usual appearance. Then Sam decided to buy the floating fist skill, which can edit people's appearance. He grabbed the girl, pulled her towards him and swung as hard as he could. He struck dozens of blows in the face of the businessman's daughter. She began to feel dizzy and asked the hero to stop. The maid began to worry about the young mistress. She thought that she was about to be killed. But Sam finished his technique and decided to show what came of it. The girl's face changed, her facial features became more gentle and sweet. He succeeded. The maid was shocked by such changes. The businessman's daughter noticed this and angrily asked her if she really thought she was ugly. Popping noises were heard and someone entered the room. It was the boss of the knife gang. He asked Sam how he dared come to his house and try to take hostages. Sam suggested that the gang leader go out and talk like men to find out who is more right. The leader asked who he works for and whether he even knows how to fight. Sam said that he works for the Church of Divine Light, the head of which is the Supreme Archbishop. The man said that he did not care about the Church of Divine Light, and anyone who came to his house without asking should be punished. The leader ordered his maid to kill Sam. She said that she would carry out the order. The girl was holding a golden whip in her hands. Apparently it was a weapon that she knew how to handle. The gang leader headed out of the room, leaving the girl to destroy the hero. But the girl had long noticed how attractive Sam was. He asked her why she was doing the leader's dirty work. The girl said that she likes it and she likes cruelty. Sam met her gaze and cast a spell the same as he had used on Mrs. Franco. He transferred it into an illusion. The girl stood in a brightly lit room all alone and wondered where she had ended up. Sam said that now she is in his power and will play by his rules. The girl turned out to be very self-confident and said that such tricks would not work on her. However, Sam, using his powers, took her whip, tied her hands, and hung her from the ceiling. Her legs trembled. She began to beg Sam to take her by force. The fire of desire flared up inside her. The girl screamed. It was Sam who began to use her whip against her. The hero said that he would allow her to enjoy cruelty if she so desired it. The girl said that even if he hit her 10,000 times, she would not ask for mercy. 2 hours later, the girl received almost 3,000 blows from the whip. But the girl continued to laugh. It seemed that she liked it. Another hour later, the girl came to the chief's office to report on the work done. Her appearance excited the gang leader. He asked if she liked having fun with the young guy. The girl walked around behind the man, showing fake interest, and asked him to close his eyes. The man obeyed her and was caught in a trap. The girl used the whip to strangle him. His life was in her hands. Sam appeared in the office and said that the bald old man had made a mistake by asking him to kill a young, attractive girl. And now Sam will decide who lives and who dies. The girl, her name was Maxim, began to squeeze the whip harder. The bald old man began to lose consciousness. With all his strength, he tried to reach Sam. But with every second, he became weaker. He quickly lost consciousness and could not control his body. Finally, he went limp in his chair and didn't move anymore. The hero asked Maxim if there were explosives in the house. When asked why, he replied that he wanted to set off fireworks. Having done everything he had planned, Sam turned into a bald old man and, together with the girls, went out to his gang to say that he was going to hand over the hostages and ordered them to stay put. The gang members wished him a good journey and remained waiting on the spot. The door slammed shut, and the gang members saw a clock mechanism on the inside. They could not immediately understand what was happening. Everyone crowded around the door and tried to look at the clock mechanism. A bright light filled the knife gang's headquarters. A monstrous explosion woke up the city, and the knife gang became history. It was very epic when Sam and Maxim walked away from the explosion. The mission was successfully completed, the hero was proud of himself, and the girls admired him. Sam arrives at the home of a wealthy businessman to return his daughter to him. They were met at home by the butler, who said that the girl's father was already hurrying home. The girl said that her dad was very rich and would generously thank Sam for her return home. The hero said that this was not necessary, but he himself remembered that he had changed her appearance beyond recognition. And now it is unknown whether her father will now recognize her. The door swung open and the girl's father ran into the house. Yes, this is the same Mr. Stone who likes to have fun with girls of easy virtue. The hero was also a little shocked by the realization that he had just recently been left tied, naked, and gagged in his carriage. Mr. Stone began to cry, hugging his daughter and saying that he would not be able to live further if something happened to her. The only thing Sam didn't understand was how he recognized his daughter when her appearance completely changed. The man replied that any parent would recognize his child among thousands of others. Their family also has a distinctive mark, star-shaped birthmarks on their necks. The man began to take a closer look at Sam and asked where he could see him. Sam said that there are a lot of people in the world who look alike, and he is sure that he is seeing Mr. Stone for the first time. Stone's daughter said that whether they had seen each other before or not does not matter. Now the main thing is to thank the hero for saving her life. Stone said that in honor of saving his daughter, he was organizing a banquet today and inviting Sam, where he would give him a big gift. Sam accepted the invitation and said that he would definitely attend the celebration. Meanwhile, at Stan's house, the maid brought him a fresh newspaper with news. On the front page, he saw the man he hated most. Every news of his victories aroused Stan's ire. He crumpled up the newspaper and threw it at the wall. He believed that it was inappropriate for a smelly hillbilly to act on behalf of the Church of Divine Light. He took out his anger on the demon slaves chained to the wall in the basement of his house. The girls asked to stop, begged for mercy, but Stan began to beat them even harder, saying that they were unworthy to live. All this was observed by a servant girl who wanted to stop the violence. In her hands was a small mirror. Meanwhile, the hero returned to the castle. He called his girlfriends to him. He asked the girls to help him prepare for the evening event. They were glad to be useful to the master. They quickly moved into the room, and the girls said that they wanted to relax him first. Sam didn't immediately understand what they were hinting at. But the girls had already decided that the gentleman should be pleased. They immersed him in their magical illusion. He felt good. In the illusion, the gentle water caressed the hero's body. But in the present, one of the girls made him feel good. Sam received the next achievement card, and with it, the bull rush skill. And the next card with the dragon transformation skill fell into his piggy bank. A girl from the Dragon Clan said that the hero needs to contact Mrs. Ginevra in the evening via a magic mirror, and be careful so that no one sees it. The hero asked where this magic mirror was. The girl said that she was in a hurry when she was getting ready here and forgot it in the toilet. Sam didn't know how to react to this, but there was nothing he could do. He had to go to the toilet. In the toilet, he opened the lid of the toilet and saw a golden mirror glued to the inside. Mrs. Ginevra appeared in it and greeted Sam, her appearance stern. The girl was clearly angry. She called him a poorly educated demon who doesn't even know about magical objects, like a magic mirror. The hero still found it funny, because Ginevra didn't know from which part of the room she was talking to him now. The girl said that a few days ago, the scout troop was attacked by the Divine Light Sword, and the entire army was destroyed, except for the 3 demon girls. They were captured and taken to the Divine Light prison. She said that this was done by Stan, who keeps them in his dungeon and mocks the prisoners, and is also preparing a conspiracy against the hero. She found out this, since her spy was able to get into his house. Sam told Geneva to be very careful because this guy has a good nose for demons. The connection was interrupted. This could have happened if someone entered the room where Sam was negotiating. The butler entered the toilet. He was very surprised that Sam was sitting over the toilet. He asked what he was doing. Sam said that he felt sick, so he sat down near the toilet. The butler sympathized with him. The time has come to celebrate the miraculous rescue of the daughter of a wealthy businessman. The hero was dressed in a very beautiful and expensive suit, which made him feel not very comfortable. Irina reassured him, saying that he did not need to worry around her because everything would go fine. She was wearing a gorgeous dress with a deep slit on her right leg, and she looked amazing. Stan appeared in a business suit, complimented Irina, and bowed. Without showing any emotion, she thanked him and said that he looked good too. Stan said that he did not like such pretentious events, but as a famous person, he could not help but accept the invitation. All the inhabitants of the house looked in their direction and said that they had never seen such a handsome guy. Stan took the compliments personally and said that they shouldn't fall in love with him because his heart belongs to the divine light. But the girls had already surrounded Sam because these compliments were addressed only to him and no one was looking at Stan. Stan could not look at the hero without anger and said to himself that soon everything would end and he would take everything that belonged to him. Sam finally fought off the groupies and was able to get to the toilet. He thought that his level of charisma was very high because he didn't even try to seduce anyone now, but there was no end to the girls. Ginevra entered the toilet and told the hero that he was in danger. The hero asked what danger she was telling him about because he didn't know what she was talking about. The girl said that Stan received evidence that Sam participated in the slave auction, and Stan is going to make this information public at the holiday in front of everyone. The hero asked what he should do so that his secret would not be revealed. The girl said that he is a very important ally in their common plan, and therefore she found a solution to the problem that arose. Ginevra also said that Stan has a device that detects the breath of demons and can destroy his disguise. Sam asked how she was going to solve his problem, since she still hadn't told her the plan of action. The girl led Sam by the hand into the toilet stall, locked it, and said that she could absorb his demonic chakra so that Stan's device could not detect it. Stan asked if Sabrina was really going to suck his demonic chakra. She said that she knew what she was doing, because she was an expert in protecting demons from people. Stan tried his best not to groan, but you could hear in the toilet that there was someone in the stall. At this time, Stan came into the toilet. He was thinking about how sweet a victory over this village upstart would be. He heard moans coming from the toilet stall and became wary. He began shouting to the entire toilet, calling for whoever was hiding in the toilet stall. Sam came out of the booth. He began to clap his hands and say that he had heard about Stan's great plans. Stan said that his knowledge of this situation will not help him in any way. It will still reveal his true colors. Sam did not argue with Stan, but simply said that he should be more careful. Ginevra, pleased with herself, remained sitting in the booth so that no one else could hear her. The party began. There were more and more people in the hall. The buzz of conversation spread throughout the entire mansion. Mr. Stone appeared. Next to him was the Archbishop. The gentleman publicly thanked Sam for saving his beloved daughter, and also expressed gratitude to those who took part in the celebration. Mr. Stone's speech was interrupted by Stan, who asked and began to say that everyone present had been brazenly deceived. He started pointing his finger at the main character and said that he was hiding his demonic origins and had hidden goals, which is why he joined the Church of Divine Light. Irina began to stand up for Sam, saying that he had passed the test with the Staff of Light, and Mrs. Franca confirmed this. Sam was as calm as possible. He said that he did not need to be protected and asked Mr. Stan to continue his speech. Stan said that he had convincing evidence that the crystal captured how Sam was being sold at an underground auction. Stan threw the crystal up so everyone could see what he wanted to show. The crystal turned into a transmitter and began to tune in to show the recording. He was sure that now everyone would see Sam's real face. Gloating overwhelmed him. The guests looked up at the screen with shame on their faces. They could not look at it for long. Sam asked Stan to stop this disgrace because he is in decent society. Irina lowered her eyes to the floor. She could not look at this shame. On the screen, there was a recording of Stan in women's stockings and underwear being beaten with a whip by a demon girl. Stan was furious. He yelled at Sam and said that he was the one who switched the crystal to make him look like a fool. Sam interrupted him, saying that Stan himself suggested showing everyone this recording, and also stated that the sacred sword of light was not worthy to be in the hands of someone who was being whipped by demons, and asked to hand the sword into his hands. Stan's rage knew no bounds. He was ready to pounce on the hero and kill him right on the spot. The Supreme Archbishop told everyone to shut up, because they were on the same side, the side of the divine light. He also said that despite the fact that they cannot verify the authenticity of the recording, so as not to discredit the Church of Light, Sam and Stan must pass the test and prove who is more worthy to wield the sword. Sam said that he is ready to fight, but will Stan accept his challenge? Irina stood up for Sam and said that he did not yet have the necessary fighting skills to resist the Sword of Light, that is, Stan. Sam said that he believed in the true power of light, and the fight would put everything in its place, and if his thoughts were pure, he would not lose, although in fact Sam knew that he had every chance of winning. The hero took off his jacket and prepared for the fight. Stan told him to take a weapon because he couldn't afford to beat up the weak and unarmed. The hero said that in order to defeat such a villain as Stan, he would have enough power of divine light. Crying that the holy light does not illuminate demons like Sam, Stan attacked the hero, swinging his sword. He used the holy light strike technique against Sam. A fiery aura rushed behind the sword, cutting everything in its path. Sam managed to break the distance between them and step back. Stan didn't plan to kill Sam with this blow. He wanted to drive him into a trap and was sure that he succeeded. But Sam took a jade stone from his pocket and pointed it at the enemy. He used the holy light jade technique and blinded his opponent. The girl was also blinded and thought to herself how Sam was able to master the secret techniques of their church so quickly. The girls were ready to go blind, just so as not to take their eyes off the hero. Sam decided to use the power that he got from one of the 3 rescued girlfriends. He rushed at Stan with great speed, breaking the air that separated them from each other. It was the bull rush technique that was so effective in this situation. The enemy flew to the other side of the room and with a roar crashed through the wall he hit. Sam thought the reception was too strong and he might have overdone it. The smoke from the exploded wall was clearing. Everyone was waiting to see if Stan would be able to get up after such a blow. Yes, he was able to get up, and not only was he not injured, but he was no longer wearing that business suit. Stan wore the armor of the Holy Church of Light, which greatly increased his strength. Sam also felt the incredible power emanating from the holy armor. Stan said that each divine light artifact has unique abilities, and in this armor it is invulnerable. Stan used God Realm mode and charged at his opponent with the speed of holy light. Sam realized that he would not be able to stop such a fast strike and decided to use the skill of another of his friends, throwing slugs at the enemy. But while he was trying to use magic, he was wounded in his left arm by a holy blade. He began to retreat, not understanding why his magic did not work, because he could not throw the mucus at Stan. Stan said that demonic magic does not work against magical artifacts. He once again attacked Sam using his sword of divine light. Irina screamed at Sam to try to defend himself, otherwise he would die. Sam summoned his sword and used the 6 Gates Ice Slash attack, which he learned from Princess Siri. Stan was surprised, because no one had yet been able to repel this blow from his sacred sword. They entered into a sword fight. Stan believed that he had no equal in fencing among those living today. Sam knew this himself, and he needed to come up with a different battle plan, otherwise he would die. He decided to try to piss Stan off and say that he is so brave only because he has the most powerful weapon in his hands. But without a sword, he is just a vile coward. Stan asked the hero if he really believed that he couldn't handle it without a weapon, and threw the sword aside. Sam took advantage of the opportunity and stabbed Stan in the body with his sword, but he easily stopped the blow. The hero certainly could not have expected this. A new plan was needed. Stan said that even without his sword, he was able to deal with the stinking demon. Sam's brain kept generating ideas. He couldn't come to the right conclusion. Before Sam's thoughts could settle in his head, he was punched in the face by his opponent. And now he was flying into the far wall of the large hall, breaking the wall behind him. Stan said that such a dirty animal would never defeat a great master of divine light. Sam could barely stand on his feet. His face was broken. He now relied only on his charisma, so he winked at the girls in the hall. The girls began to shout at the top of their voices that Sam was their hero, and Stan was a villain, who without his divine things was simply a non-entity. Stan continued to not understand why all the girls were not on his side even now. The girls shouted that superiority and strength over Sam did not make him a great man, because he was still a scoundrel. Stan was infuriated by all the statements addressed to him. They called him a useless and evil person who is not worthy of the Church of Divine Light. All this drove Stan crazy. He lost his mind and his sacred armor burst and shattered into fragments. He did not control his powers and did not understand how it happened that his armor crumbled. Sam's plan worked, because in order to control the artifacts of the Holy Light, you need to have unshakable self-confidence, and the girls killed this belief in him. Sam did not attack the unarmed Stan and asked him to stop this war. But Stan wasn't going to listen to the smelly hillbilly and grabbed his blade, and attacked him with the words, "Die, dirty pig." But the blade was knocked out of his hand by an arrow from another member of the Church of Divine Light. The girl's name was Lucia. She told Stan that if the Divine Light refused him, it did not mean that he could act so vilely and attack the person who proposed a truce. Stan called Lucia a dirty wench who has no right to tell him how he should behave. The sword that Lucia knocked out of Stan's hand flew towards Sam, began to glow with divine light. And the hero caught him, feeling hot energy spreading throughout his body. The sword glowed as brightly as it had not shone for decades. Sam asked if it had a switch. Stan couldn't believe that his sword was now giving its power to the stinking demon. The Archbishop stated that everything had been decided, and now Sam had been promoted to the 7 sages of the Holy Light, and Stan, who had lost his light, would be cast out of the church. Sam received a sword of light, which increased damage to evil creatures by 100%, as well as armor of light, which could be created at will. When it was all over, Sam walked up to Lucia, the bow of the Holy Light, and thanked her for her help. The girl grabbed the hero's hand and pressed it to her chest. She said that she would be happy to receive his gratitude this evening at her home. Irina took Lucia's words as a joke, but Sam knew that it was far from a joke. Lucia asked Irina if there was a relationship between them. The girl replied that there was nothing between them. She said with sadness in her voice that they were just friends and nothing more. The hero also felt sad from these words of Irina. But Lucia was an experienced girl and understood that Irina would not even admit it to herself. The clinking of glasses was heard. The celebration spread throughout the castle. Irina congratulated Sam on the fact that he was now one of them, and they would be able to work together more often. Sam asked the girl if she drank a lot of alcohol and if she would get sick. The girl admitted that she really doesn't know how to drink, and therefore all the drinks are prepared for her by Sebastian, who will never allow her to get drunk. Sebastian, meanwhile, was thinking that especially for such a holiday, he had made the wine much stronger than usual, so that all the guests would like it. He believed that even if the lady was drunk, Sam, being a real man, would not take advantage of her condition for his own purposes. Sebastian talked to Irina's late parents and said that he would be happy if she gave birth to a child next year. Irina herself began to notice that she was very drunk. Sam noticed this too and began to worry about her. He offered to take the girl to her bedroom and put her to bed, to which she replied that he could not appear there and that she still needed to take a shower. Sam brought the girl to the bath. She began to call Sam to take a shower with her. Sam didn't immediately know if he had heard what she was saying correctly. She fell silent and he began to worry, asking if everything was okay, but she continued to remain silent. Sam burst into the bath to see if she had passed out in the shower, and then her hand grabbed him by the collar and pulled him inside. She hugged him and kissed him deeply. He couldn't leave. A few seconds later, the girl was sitting in a hot bath, but she was very sad. She asked the hero why he refused her, because she showed enough initiative. Sam reminded her that she talked about the ban on desecrating her body. The girl said that since he was appointed one of the 7 saints, their union would not stain her body. Sam asked her with bitterness in his voice if she would like him if he were a demon. She said that even if he is a demon, he is now a holy demon, and she will follow him both to heaven and to purgatory. Sam said that he was very glad to hear such words from your address, and also wanted to spend this evening with her. The girl opened up to him and they united as one. The pleasure these two felt was beyond words. A 5-star character card has become available in the hero playing field. We are transported to Stan's mansion, at the entrance of which there is a guard of 2 priests. Sam screams and asks why they won't let him into their own house. One of the priests punches Stan in the face and tells him to talk kindly to them. They explain to him that all his property now belongs to the church again, and all his past merits now mean nothing. The members of the Church of Light are very angry with Stan because he has caused great damage to their faith. Stan leaves, leaving his mansion. He has nowhere to go. He wanders until nightfall, and then he meets 2 demons. The demons recognize Stan as a former swordsman of the Holy Church of Light. Stan asks them what they are up to. The demons want to repay his debt, to avenge the thousands of relatives he killed. Stan begins to run away, because he no longer has the powerful power that the artifacts gave him. But they surround him from the other side and say that it has been decided to take him into account. He tries to justify himself and begs for forgiveness from the demons. But they do not want to listen to his dirty words. The sounds of blows and screams of the victim are heard. Morning comes, we are transported to the castle of Mrs. Irina. She wakes up in her room. Her head hurts a little after yesterday. Meanwhile, Ginevra comes to Sam and says that she knows about the work he has done. Sam asked if the seal on the Demon King's heart had been removed. The girl said that she felt his strength growing, and she needed to wait a little longer. Sam said that he had fulfilled his part of the agreement, and asked Ginevra to remove the chain of death from him. He didn't want to feel like a toy in the wrong hands. The girl said that perhaps she would like to free him, but of course she would not do this. Sam asked what this meant, since she promised to release him when he fulfilled her conditions. Ginevra asked what he didn't like, because many demons would dream of being connected by a chain of pure blood with her. The hero replied that not only his life depends on this chain, but also hers, so he can also threaten her. And he pulled with force the ghostly chain sticking out of his chest. The girl screamed. It was clear how much pain she was in. She did not expect that Sam would use her trap against her. The hero said that he deserved a reward for his efforts, and she should repay him. Ginevra said that she could give him whatever he wanted and asked what it would be. Now the guy could set his own conditions and said that she would give him pleasure, be his slave, and fulfill the most sophisticated desires. He asked what she was waiting for and ordered her to kneel. He threw a chain of pure blood around her neck, like a domestic dog, and said that now she would sit on the chain. The girl enjoyed this game. Sam noticed this too and decided to continue. Sam now has access to Ginevra's game card and the ability to use the demonic song skill. We go to the city outside the castle, where the demons are discussing how they cruelly humiliated the former saint of the Church of the Holy Light. They say that there is no need to tell anyone that they did this to Stan, because despite the fact that he is now a weakling, you can run into revenge for him from other saints of the church. Stan lay on the ground, beaten and disgraced. And suddenly he saw how the demons who attacked him were blown to pieces with one blow. Stan did not immediately understand what happened and who destroyed them. The familiar robe and boots appeared in front of his face. The Supreme Archbishop called him a son, said that the Holy Light had not abandoned him, but had only tested him hard, and asked if he was ready to take revenge. Stan said that despite the pain he suffered, he would take revenge on the offender who took everything from him. The head of the church had an unhealthy light in his eyes, and he invited Stan to follow him and accept his gift. The leader led him down a long, circular staircase deep into a secret basement. They left in a room unknown to Stan. The Archbishop said that they had arrived at the place. He showed Stan a huge sword emitting monstrous evil energy. Stan was in a state of shock. He recognized this sword. At the center of the dark sword's hilt was the sealed heart of the Demon King. The head of the church said that a year after the death of the Demon King, he began to study a spell that could unite the heart of the Demon King with his sword, and he succeeded. And now there is nothing in the world stronger than this sword. Stan asked how he can use the power of the Demon King when he is on the side of divine light. The head shouted at him, saying that it doesn't matter whether pure power or demonic power is as long as it can be used in the path of justice. Stan believed the Archbishop and went to the sword. He decided to use the power of the Demon King to destroy his main opponent, who disgraced him in front of everyone. Stan put his hand on the hilt of his sword. His whole body began to burn like fire. He felt the blood flowing through his veins. Dark energy filled the entire room. A storm arose. And then huge demonic wings began to appear from his back with splashes of blood. He felt wild pain. The Archbishop said that with such power, the Church of Divine Light could illuminate the whole world. He was mesmerized by the light that the Demon King's dark sword emitted. Stan's face and body took on demonic features. His faith changed, although he did not understand it yet. Morning came. Irina woke up in a good mood. Sam came into her room and wished her good morning. He himself looked very bad, and the girl asked what was wrong with him. The hero said that he was tormented by insomnia all night. Hannah burst into the room and said that trouble had happened to the Church of Divine Light, and she also said something incomprehensible about Stan. Meanwhile, a dark figure was circling over the city, and fleeing passersby shouted that it was the Demon King who had returned. Many also saw the characteristic sword that this demon was holding in his hands. It was Stan, he told everyone to shut up. Blood was oozing from his wings in different directions. It landed on people's bodies, burned their skin, and did something irreparable. She turned the townspeople into bloodthirsty evil demons who were ready to kill everyone in their path. The little girl, who was not exposed to the blood, was crying and calling for her mother. One of the newborn demons, perhaps her mother, wanted to attack the child. But he was successfully cut into 2 parts by an ice sword, and the baby was saved. The hero used the ice sword technique and defended the townspeople. He was saddened by what he saw and was determined to save innocent people. Irina ran to Sam's aid with her hammer of light. She couldn't believe that Stan had arranged everything. First of all, Stan, in the guise of the King of Demons, turned to Sam, said that he wanted his quick death, and turning to Irina, he said that he knew that the demon had taken advantage of her. Sam asked if he really considers all demons to be dirt. Then why did he sell himself to their leader? Stan got angry hearing these words. In a demonic voice, he screamed at Sam to shut his dirty mouth. The shockwave was very strong, but since Sam was also a demon, he was able to resist. He thought that if he didn't come up with a plan to destroy Stan, many innocent people would suffer. And then a girl in armor appeared in front of him. In her hands was a sacred shield of light and armor that had enormous protective power. The girl said that her name is Carter, and she is a shield of light, one of the 7 sages of the sacred church. Our old friends also came to the rescue. These were the sacred staff and the sacred bow of light. Irina was delighted to see the sisters coming to help. Franco asked Stan to stop, ask for absolution and return to their side before it was too late. Stan called them a bunch of idiots who don't understand anything about following the path of light, and said that they could have followed him, but chose a demon. He summoned 100 flying demons to help and said that it was time for his former colleagues to disappear. Bow of Light fired a sacred arrow straight at Stan and said that she would not allow him to destroy this world. Her arrow hit the target. Stan was there, but he was protected by dozens of demons who covered him with their chests. She destroyed several dozen flying creatures with one shot, but Stan managed to dodge. Then the Staff of Light came into play. She concentrated enormous power into her weapon, and with a beam of incredible power, she shot straight at the new Demon King. And again, dozens of demons died defending their king. The powerful blow struck nearly 100 demons. It was Vanessa, the Fist of Light of the Sacred Church, who also decided to join the fight against a dangerous opponent. A new batch of demons protecting their king was sent to another world. The girl's name was Trosi. She was the Spear of Light of the Sacred Church. Stan was angered by the unity with which the 7 sages of the Church of Divine Light fought and protected the people. In one leap, he reached the place where Vanessa and Trosi were and used a demonic strike of darkness against them. The girls had no chance to stay on their feet, so great was its power. The girls flew, hitting the ground. Having landed and risen to their feet, they began to plan how they could defeat him. While Stan was distracted by Vanessa and Trosi, the Bow of Light went around him from behind and delivered a powerful blow. However, the enemy was able to easily dodge the flying cleansing arrow and caught it at incredible speed. The girl did not understand why her arrow had no effect on Stan, because no one had yet been able to dodge it. Stan broke the cleansing arrow with one hand and said that he was tired of playing children's games and it was time to fight. He used a black magic spell and created a world of demons around himself, the energy of which was destructive to everyone except demons. The black aura of the demon world spread further and further into space. The members of the 7 saints began to feel how demonic energy was taking away their vitality. Stan said that demonic aura will take away all the energy of the Holy Seven, and then this energy will be transferred to the demon race. This energy had a different effect on Sam. He felt an incredible surge of strength. After all, Sam was a demon and had an advantage over the 7 of the Sacred Church. He tried to attack Stan using the Sword of Divine Light, releasing a scorching flame with a blow. The flame was of enormous power and rushed towards the enemy at speed. Stan cut the flames with one swing of the Demon King's sword, and it disappeared. He said that despite the fact that Sam is also a demon, he does not have the strength to resist the Demon King. The battle took place in the sky. Irina saw that Sam was not affected by the demonic aura. She realized that he was really a demon. Stan said that Sam was still alive only because he wanted everyone to see how he would suffer, and began to generate demonic energy in his hand. Energy comparable to a tsunami erupted from his hand and was directed at Sam. Shield of Light rushed to Sam's defense. She was in time, but from the impact her shield began to crumble into fragments. She lost consciousness and began to fall from a height to the ground. The fall was very fast, no one had time to catch her, and the fall broke the ground under her feet. Irina asked why the Shield of Light helped Sam, because he is a real demon who deceived everyone. Carter called Irina a fool, and said that the race of a creature does not matter if he stands guard over the divine light and fights for the lives of other beings. Irina was surprised to hear Carter say this, but was very pleased, because she still loved Sam no matter what. Stan told Sam that the Holy Seven could not save him or themselves from death, and there was no point in trying. Stan said it was time to end these games and move on to a more serious fight. Sam stood on the demonic barrier, and Irina shouted to him that the other saints would transfer their powers to him through their sacred weapons so that he could resist the Demon King. At this moment, artifacts of other saints began to appear on the sacred blade of the sword. Sam began to feel an even greater surge of strength. Sam's body became more and more energy. It grew and began to displace the demonic dome created by Stan. And then the hero felt how the chakra became stable, and its level increased 6 times. A powerful bang and puffs of smoke filled the space where Sam was. The smoke began to clear. Something happened. Sam stood, and in his hands was still the restored and improved Shield of Light. The Night King was surprised that Sam managed to restore the artifact he destroyed. Sam thought how cool the battle would be, because it contained everything he had ever heard about from ancient stories: 7 artifacts, 7 sages, a Demon King, a demonic barrier. The Demon King looked at the hero and did not understand whether he should be afraid of him, or if he was just the same dirty piece of crap as before. Sam said that he may not consider him his equal, but he should know that his strength has increased manifold. The hero took out a Spear of Light. It was also improved. The Demon King became increasingly worried, because he had never seen 2 sacred artifacts in the hands of one person at once. Sam used the tornado technique and Stan was spun in the insane energy of the power of the Seven Sages. He could not defend himself and stopped spinning under the rush of energy. And then Sam, taking advantage of the moment, used a fist of light to strike his enemy. With the help of the third artifact, Sam was able to strike an enemy who had recently been out of reach. Stan recovered quickly from the blow and got to his feet. But he couldn't believe that the Demon King could be struck by some weakling from the village. He still didn't consider him a strong opponent. Stan decided to summon servants from hell because the power of the Demon King allowed him to do this. He ordered the demons to kill anyone and everyone who met them on the way and asked the hero if he could now protect the inhabitants of the city. Sam began to piss him off, asking why such a strong and powerful Demon King only does this and calls soldiers to his aid. Sam also managed to activate a barrier of light, which increases his skills and damage to demons by 100%. The barrier of light began to act on the demons in a murderous way. They tried to escape from it, and the hero asked them to go back to their purgatory so as not to die fighting for the wrong Demon King. They listened to Sam because they saw that he was also from their race. Stan became angry when his servants listened to Sam's words and left the battlefield. He said that he had many more tricks up his sleeve to kill Sam. But Sam shot a sacred arrow from a bow of light and distracted the enemy. He said that he was not going to wait for the Demon King to use a new move and swung the hammer of light at his opponent. The blow landed straight on Stan's body, and he had no way to dodge it. He flew across the entire city square, unable to stop. Sam used the technique of concentrating all the energy in one weapon, hovering in the air to accumulate it. And the hammer of light in his hands united with other artifacts and turned into an improved blade of light. Sam has a new ability, Demonic Wings of Light. He raised his new blade upward and began to gather the energy of light and darkness. It looked like he was now a Demon King, but fighting on the side of light, the fire blazing, fanned by a sacred aura. He used a strike of divine light and sent all the energy towards his opponent. An explosion occurred. The ground shook underfoot, but this fire did not destroy anything living. Only the Demon King received damage. And so we see Sam standing in the middle of the square, exhausted and trying to catch his breath. He succeeded, Stan disappeared, the demonic aura began to fade. But she did not completely leave the city and continued to fly in the air. Ginevra appeared. She was shocked by what she saw and decided to help get rid of the Demon King, and said that the black aura would not dissipate until it acquired a new body. Then it could be sealed. We see the broken sword of the Demon King on the ground, in the hilt of which his heart is pulsating. Ginevra says that she has a plan to seal the Demon King forever, but it is very dangerous. The hero asks her how to do it. The girl says that only a very strong demon who is not afraid of the sacred light can try to seal the Demon King within himself. Sam asks what could happen if he doesn't succeed. Ginevra says that she does not know this, since no one has tried it before. It is just an ancient legend, and it is unknown whether anyone's body can withstand the king's power and not succumb to his dark heart. Sam's in-game interface shows that the quest has been completed, and he can complete the mission. Meanwhile, a dark aura begins to fill the city again, and members of the Holy Church begin to lose their powers. The hero decides to stay and help the people who believed in him, despite the fact that he belongs to the demon race. He picks up a dark sword with the heart of a Demon King, and he feels pain piercing him from the inside. His body is burning, and his mind is switching off. He begins to cough up blood and feels his internal organs melting. The saints do not know how to help him, but they really want to save him. Ginevra says that he can be helped, but this requires as many people as possible. He says that they can absorb the power of the Demon King from Sam's body and destroy it in small portions inside their bodies. Ginevra used her demonic power and began to create a place to suck the energy out of Sam's body. She created a large room with a huge bed on which she laid Sam. He felt bad, he was shaking. Ginevra asked to be the first to come to Sam's aid in the fight against the Demon King. Irina wished her good luck and said that she would restore her strength and wait in line. Ginevra said that she would be able to contain the infection spreading throughout the hero's body for a long time because she has demonic power, so she is very resilient. Irina and Franco waited for Ginevra for a whole hour until she began to come out. The girl could barely drag her feet, said that she did not think that everything was so serious, and she could no longer stand on her feet and experience these constant cramps. Franco volunteered to help the hero next. Irina looked at her angrily and said that she would go with her. 2 hours later, the girls crawled out of the room where Sam was and began asking who else could go into the room and replace them. This is where our old friends come into play. 4 half-humans saved from death by Sam. They looked happy. It was finally their turn. 3 hours later, even these assistants gave up. Sweat was dripping from them, their legs were trembling, and their voices were hoarse from screaming. Ginevra and Irina did not know what to do, because the demonic energy had not yet been sucked out of the hero's body, and their powers had not yet been restored. The girls were ready to die for Sam. But suddenly the sound of heels and the voices of girls was heard. These were the beautiful demons whom Sam had released during the fight with Stan. Now they did not look like the inhabitants of hell, because the hero illuminated them with divine light, saved them, and thereby freed them. Ginevra asked the girls if they knew that helping the hero is very dangerous. The girl replied that the hero gave them a new life, and they were ready to sacrifice it for him, especially since quite a lot of them came. Ginevra thanked the girls and said they were just in time. The demon girls tried their best. They were young and full of strength and energy, and a large number of them could decide the outcome of the battle. Suddenly, the members of the Holy Seven felt an earthquake. Irina was the first to notice the Church of the Holy Light. A huge figure was moving towards them from the direction of the church. She looked like a 100-meter stone sculpture made according to sacred motives. This monster was controlled by the Archbishop. He admitted that his goal was to combine the Holy Light with the magical energy of the great demon realm to create the ultimate power. The stone sculpture moved towards the place where Sam was, destroying everything in its path. She pulled out a huge sword to destroy Sam and allow the Archbishop to absorb the power of the Demon King from his body. A huge, devastating blow was sent to the house where the hero was helped to free himself from the evil chakra. Debris of earth and buildings flew in different directions. Irina began to scream in panic, but Ginevra told her not to worry because she could feel the next level of energy coming from the house and knew it was going to be fun. We see a hand stopping a huge sword of a stone statue. Who would have thought? This is Sam in a new guise and a new demonic suit with horns. He holds the enemy's sword with one hand. A split second and he still breaks the sword with one hand, and it crumbles into small fragments. The Archbishop is furious. He does not understand how Sam managed to cope with such strong energy. He generates light chakra in the hands of the statue and is about to send it towards the enemy. Sam says that it is difficult for him to control this energy in his body for a long time, so he will finish everything very quickly. He creates a spinning sphere of celestial energy in his hands, and he shoots it straight into the giant's chest, where the Archbishop is. The result is a fireball of such power that even Itachi would envy it. The fire, created by combining the energy of light and darkness, leaves no chance for the Archbishop to win. The mission is completed, the enemy is defeated. Sam fell to his knees, his demonic god suit began to fade. He still found it difficult to control such power. A few seconds later, he was lying on the ground unconscious. Irina quickly ran up to him and tried to help him, but he did not come to his senses. And then she heard someone tell her not to worry and leave the matter of saving Sam to them. Sam's most important friends, two princesses, Siri and Maggie, and the former owner of the salon, Alice, appeared and asked how this guy got into trouble again. Irina clearly didn't trust them and asked how they got here and what they had to do with Sam. Maggie said that the three of them were able to help him, and Alice said that Irina did not know them at all and could not talk about whether they could really save the hero or not. Siri said that she would tell Irina some secrets about Sam, and she would understand everything herself. We are transported to the system space of the game. Sam wakes up and doesn't immediately realize where he is now. He got dressed and left the room in the hope that someone would explain to him what was happening. Before he could leave the room, he saw a huge table flying towards him. Out of surprise, he did not have time to dodge, and the table flew right into his face. This table flew into Sam from a blow from Irina, who was trained by Princess Siri, who did not even notice how the table hit the hero. They apologized to him, as they did not expect that their training could harm him. Sam's nose was bleeding. Irina asked Sam how he was feeling, whether he was able to conquer the power of the Demon King that settled inside him. Ginevra explained that Sam could not yet fully control the power of the Demon King. He was able to seal it, but not use it to its full potential. This needs more time. Sam asked Ginevra how she ended up here. She replied that all her life she wanted to follow the King of Devils, and it doesn't matter who he becomes. And now the king's power is forever sealed in the hero. Sam said that he understood why Ginevra was here, but why Irina was here too, why she didn't stay to guard the sacred Church of Light. She replied that after what the Archbishop did, the church lost its authority, and also all the power of the Holy Seven was absorbed by the hero. And now there is no point in the girls being in the church. Also here were the rest of the girls from the members of the Holy Seven, who said that they did not regret losing their jobs, because they were able to find a new, worthy leader. Then Hannah, who suddenly appeared, rushed to hug the hero. She stated that the half-human girls whom he saved from slavery and death would also serve him faithfully and follow him to the ends of the earth. Sam became more and more surprised by the number of people who followed him. The rest of the rescued people also confirmed Hannah's words and said that he couldn't escape them. Sam said he wouldn't have any problems feeding a few more friends and finding a home for them. Princess Maggie told the hero that everything is not as simple as he thinks. Siri did not want to keep the intrigue and said that they were not the only ones who returned to the gaming space for Sam. Sam couldn't remember who else might have gone after him or who he had saved to make it happen. And then several hundred demon girls from hell appeared, whom Sam did not kill, but shed sacred light on them and freed their consciousness from the control of the Demon King. Ginevra said that these 200 girls helped free his body from the evil energy of the Demon King, and without them, he would have died. Sam said, although it is very difficult, he cannot leave the girls in a difficult situation. If they want to follow him, then he will help. Sam decided to use the game system to build a house that would accommodate the required number of people so that they could live in comfort. He spent several thousand game points to build a magnificent palace with a capacity of 500 people and complete infrastructure. He also understood that all his girls were fighters and they needed to train, and he built a training camp for them. He also built an alchemy room, a forge, premises for growing vegetables and fruits and other premises. The game fairy asked him to be more reasonable and not spend so many points if he is not sure of the need for a purchase. He also found a home for himself, which could increase his demonic energy and maintain the energy of light. It was a large mansion with everything necessary for life. Sam's main girlfriends decided to visit Sam's new house. Irina was the first to enter the house, and she was shocked by the sensations that this house gave, because it allowed ordinary people to feel the power of demons. Ginevra said that Princess Maggie has already mastered this energy